Youngstown, they come at Machu, now sends it back behind the net. Matthew Perkins. Perkins is checked. Now Swoboda, tied up by Bozer. Try to center it in front. It's loose in front. Batted towards Castro, and he's able to scoop it up. It was a loose puck right in front that time. Closest guy there for the Phantoms was Swoboda, but couldn't get a shot off, couldn't get to that puck. It is scooped up by the goaltender, Anton Castro. Time out of the ice, we'll pause with 13:59 to play in the opening period. Game 1 of the Clark Cup final. No score with the Force in Youngstown. We're back in 1 minute.
Diamond stud earrings, the perfect Mother's Day gift. The classic look of diamond stud earrings from Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry. Ideal cut hearts and arrows diamonds. Exceptional quality with exceptional value. Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry, we source the world's most beautiful diamonds. With bottom line pricing, no gimmicks or phony discounts, your diamond experience starts with Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry, 3241 42nd Street South. Online at schmidtsjewelry.com.
It's Outback Days going on now at Muscatel's Subaru. While supplies last, Muscatel's has new Outback models available now. No waiting. All with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive for safety and security 4 seasons of the year. Ask about Muscatel's complimentary accessory credit with new Outback purchase. Muscatel's Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
13:59 to play in the opening period. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup final. No score with Youngstown and the Force. Face off. Rolling puck will go all the way down and taken back by Machu. Back to neutral ice. And Youngstown looks to play it. Loose puck. And it is gathered in by Charlie Russell. Russell for Scott. As Fargo looks to control, here's a pass for Russell at center, and he will dump it in. They'll play dump and chase. They'll change up. Joe Palatichuk comes out of defense. J.P. Turner at a sharp angle shot that was blocked. Loose to the corner. Charlie Russell there for Fargo as he'll come away with it or try to. Poke check away by Jack Wilson by the Phantoms. Cleared but not out. Gruba firing a shot through traffic. Comes back to Mangini. Mangini tries to throw it in front. Threw it to the right of the goaltender Fowler. Battle for it now back behind the net. As it is batted away by Jack Wilson. Comes up the near side wall, loose. Wandering puck down, here's Turner, and Turner will flip that one in. 13:08 to play in the opening period. No score with Fargo and Youngstown. Game 1 of the Clark Cup final as puck goes all the way down. Youngstown throws it down, Palatichuk. It's checked over there by Catalano. Tanner Wallace joins in for the Force. Puck comes free. Bishop back to play, comes back to the point. There's a shot fired. That one goes high and wide, and unable to maintain the zone. Williams throwing it back in. Gruba fires it cross ice. Try to stretch past and connect for Plant. And Pittner to play it. Comes back up the wall. Bishop near side. Puck goes through center and kept in by Youngstown. Palatichuk tried to throw the body around that time on Pittner, but unable to make full contact. Spinning away Wallace. Near side controlled by Fargo with Harper Bentz. Bentz at the red line, dumps it in. Line change coming for Fargo. Shots on goal, 2 apiece. Penalty free so far through nearly 8 minutes of game 1. Fargo coming back the other way. Loose puck, back at neutral ice, and it is sent in, but cut off by Youngstown as it was sent in by Werner Miettinen for Fargo. Stretch pass, and line change coming as Gunty lets that one go through and all the way into the offensive zone. Deep in the offensive zone for Youngstown. Comes out Strothman. Strothman top of the left circle, a shot wide, and Karams right back to Castro. It hit hard off the inboards and came back to goaltender Anton Castro. 11:53 to go in the opening period. Shots on goal, 3-2 in favor of the Phantoms, and no score. Expecting a good crowd, at least north of about maybe 3,500 or so, and looks like a chunk of the arena is filled up. Folks wearing those white T-shirts they got as they entered the gates tonight. Miettinen takes the draw against Niziak for Youngstown. A chance, 4 points in the postseason. Niziak with 8. William Whitelaw, 3 goals, 4 assists in the postseason. Strabone, 6 points as well. As Youngstown, a little lower scoring games that they've had in the postseason. Fargo had nothing but 1 goal games up until game 4 in the clincher at Lincoln. Turnover here. Cross ice as it is sent in by the Phantoms. They'll get to a line change. Rasenbozer plays it for the Force. Near side with it, Mellenbacher. Taken away by the Phantoms. They'll send it in deep. Bozer again as a loose puck as he was met and taken off. The puck that time by Isagai. Goes down the left wing boards. Fargo will have a line change, and icing will be the call here as they were starting up at a line change. 11:15 to play in the opening period, and no score. Line out there for Fargo. Looks like it will be the line of Mellenbacher, Mietnin, and Gert Silkons. Actually, no, it won't be. It'll be Link and Knubel and Mellenbacher. Napier and Bozer on defense, so a bit of a switch up there. Servone will take the draw to the right of Anton Castro in net for Fargo. Referees for this first game of the Clark Cup final: Hunter Mottinger and Andrew Rasky. Linesmen Zach Carson and Patrick Giles. Puck in the near corner. That comes back up the wall as that will go through center. Loose puck and back to play at Andrew Centrella. Nick Williams, D-to-D pass there as they get it to neutralize to the Phantoms. Feedback for Williams. Can't get to it. On the return feed, Scott will play it back behind Castro. His goaltender as Swanson. Swanson trying to find Knubel, but intercepted and neutralized by the Phantoms. Centrella to control for Williams. Williams spins and neutralized. He gets checked. It is dumped in. Servone drops it in front. Pass in front. Shot denied by Castro. But past that time, Jake Rossi was on the doorstep. Denied by Anton Castro. 4 saves early for Castro in his second season with the Fargo Force. Here's Wilson. Wilson, and down the right wing boards, Machu. As we have whistle, contact, and a stoppage here with 10:23 to go in the opening period. So it was the best scoring chance of the game for either side. As Servone dropping it in front. As Isagai across in to the right of Castro. And Rossi was denied there. And a fine save by Anton Castro here early on. 10:23 to go in the opening period. Shots on goal, 4 for Youngstown, 2 for Fargo. Off the face-off. Two cities separated by over 1,000 miles. About as far as two franchises can be in this league. Fargo, North Dakota, and Youngstown, Ohio. Palatachuk for the Force. Comes through center, comes across the line. Stick handles, drops to left side. Mangini, a shot save made. Rebound loose. Puck was swept aside. And Machu to play it. Machu past one skater. Will drop it off as Perkins. Perkins drops it back. Here's a pass deflected. Shot denied. Save made by Castro. Another quality scoring chance denied by Anton Castro. Here's Perkins. Perkins backhands it in. Strothman looks to control. Make it Swoboda. Swoboda shot save. Rebound was loose. Swept aside by Fargo. So Youngstown's starting to put a little more consistent pressure on. The late offside called was waved off. Fargo at center. Flipped high in the air by Turner. It will stay in play in the far corner of the Fargo offensive zone. Line change in progress for Fargo. It is controlled by Youngstown. Phantoms near side. Jack Wilson. Cross-ice pass. Pinballs around. Fired in by Catalano. Deflected. There's a pass to the corner. Youngstown controls the left circle. Comes back Centrello at the point. Works his way down the left wing boards. Out of the corner with it. Back behind the net. Look for a wraparound attempt. It's loose. Went through the crease. Out of the stick of Tanner Wallows for the Force. 9:08 to play. Puck through center. Batted around and neutralized. And Boris Galos will dump that one in. Centrello back to play it back behind the net. Met there by Zam Platt. Lost the puck in the process. Kept in by Fargo at the left point. They'll throw it on net that time. Save made by Jacob Fowlers. Brazen Bulls are able to hold it in at the blue line. At the point. Threw it on net and a save made. 3 saves for Jacob Fowler here early. Timeout on the ice. Just under 9 minutes to play here in Game 1. The Clark Cup final. No score. Here with Youngstown and Fargo. Take a break. Be back with more in 1 minute.
Head into your next painting project full of confidence with a little help from Fargo Glass and Paint. Conveniently located in the shops at Osgood at 4323 45th Street South. Stop by and ask their experts about Benjamin Moore's Scuff X interior paint. Scuff X provides an effortless painting experience with durable and flawless results. See for yourself in the hallways and locker rooms of the Shields Arena. No task too big when you work with the professionals at Fargo Glass and Paint, your local paint experts.
Hey everybody, this is Ward Cater with Vision Ford in Wapaton, North Dakota. Did you know that we have software that we can use to locate the perfect pre-owned vehicle for you? You should buy what you want. We have invested in the technology to be customer friendly because we want and appreciate your business. Remember, we'll bring the test drive to you and deliver for free within 1,000 miles of the dealership. Don't worry about what we have. We will get you what you want. We want you to live your best life with Vision Ford in Wapaton, North Dakota. My name is Ward Cater.
Scoreless here as we're a little over halfway through the first period here in Game 1. Josh Lynn is back at our studios. I'm Brad Anderson. Glad you're with us for Game 1 of the Clark Cup Final. Fargo will take the draw with Cole Knuble at high-scoring line. Swanson, Knuble in length. The trio is combined for 23 points in the postseason. Swanson, 3 goals, 7 assists. Knuble, 6 goals, 3 assists, including a 5-point Game 4 in the Western Conference Finals. 4 goals and an assist in the 8-goal barrage. At 3 in the first period and 5 in the third, including a couple of empty netters to seal the deal at Lincoln against the Stars on Monday night to avoid Game 5. Had either series gone to a Game 5, we would not have started the Clark Cup Final until tomorrow night. They would have gone Saturday, Sunday, but Friday and Saturday this weekend. Friday and Saturday in Youngstown next weekend. The 7:05 Eastern Time. Both evenings for the start time there. Force in the corner, comes back out. And controlled at the point by Palatichuk. Palatichuk met there by Whitelaw. Controlled by Palatichuk. Spin, shot left circle by Link. Never got on net. Loose. Back behind the net comes Swanson. Tried to center. Pass deflected. Swanson heads back to the far corner. Now Knuble. Here's Gruba. High slot. Fires a shot wide. Missed the net. Link trying to wait for the carom as it came hard off the M boards. And Fowler was anticipating that as well as he reached behind, waiting for that carom, and he was able to beat Link to the puck and freeze it with 8:14 to go in the first. Take a look at the replay on that. Link's shot was blocked. Knuble had it kind of caught between his skates, and then Swanson controlled. So he had Link, tried to center for Link, and a reverse field on that. And Knuble finding Leo Gruba. Gruba firing for that hard carom, and Fowler anticipated. Kind of picked a spot where he thought that puck would come back from, and it did. 8:14 to go in the opening period. Shots on goal 5-3 is Mijak and Miettinen will take the draw. Mijak in early, so they'll take 2 on the face-off to the left of Fowler. Off the face-off, controlled by Youngstown. Had the edge face-offs won here early on. Pass for Whitelaw, batted away, getting a stick on it. Kevin Scott, right between the benches. Miettinen in front of the Fargo bench, finds Scott. Now Bozer, sent along by Mellenbacher. Bouncing puck, Silkol's trying to get to it. Youngstown looks to play it out, and they'll control. Mijak, the Slovakian, 17 points on the year. Comes back to neutral ice as Bozer to play it. Bozer will fire it back in, rings around to the near side. Centrella to play it. Centrella back at center. It is intercepted, taken by Mangini. Mangini puts the brakes on. As Mangini will have to skate out of the zone. He was forced out of the zone that time by Nick Williams. Controlled by Youngstown as they'll look to break out with it. 7:26 to go in the opening period. Here's a turnover. No, Mangini's got batted away from neutral ice, but Mangini was already in the zone. The puck found him. 7:24 to go as offside the call, and a scoreless game so far. Hour earlier tomorrow, 6:05 Central Time. Pregame on 101.9 Jack FM locally will be at 5:50, and then games 3 and 4 if necessary. Friday and Saturday, 7:05 Eastern Time, 6:05 Central. And if we need game 5, 20 on the 23rd of the month, Tuesday, it'll be a 7:05 face-off. Puck batted free. Machu to play it, harassed by Mangini, forces him back behind Fowler and net. And back come the Phantoms with it as Serbone drops it off. Isagai, he comes in from the right wing, comes in, crashing the net, lost the puck in the process. Controlled by Serbone. Serbone to the corner. Centering pass, got batted away. Now Turner. So it's back behind the cage again. Stender trying to drop it off for Mangini. He's tied up at the half wall near side with Isagai. Comes back up the wall and then batted to the corner by the Phantoms. Jacob Napier for the Force in the corner. Will send it back up the wall and back to neutral ice it goes. First one there. It's Machu for the Phantoms. Pass intercepted. Across the line comes Stender. Stender left circle. Pass went behind. Plant was coming in from the slot. Pass went just behind him. And throw back out to neutral ice. Palatichuk carries it back in as we will have a whistle, and I believe offside is the call, and that'll be it. The 6:21 to go in the opening period. And that centering feed for Plant was just behind him. Fargo got the puck back with Palatichuk as they look to attack the offensive zone one more time, but icing the call. 6:21 to play in the opening period. You can kind of tell the team's a little bit cautious, maybe not trying to make a mistake here early, kind of feeling each other out a little bit. Kind of similar to what we saw style of play with Fargo and Lincoln in game one of the Western Conference Final, which Fargo got a goal late, 1-1-0. Kind of has same type of feel to it. Youngstown's had really better and more quality scoring chances here early on than Fargo has. Stretch pass. Varner couldn't get to it. Puck will go the far corner of the Youngstown offensive zone. Fargo looks to clear it out with Boris Skalos. Skalos will find Tanner Wallace. Wallace between the benches. Puck goes cross ice. Paladachuk to play it. Paladachuk will retreat and will drop it off now for Gruba. We go Gruba. Will fire that one in. Dumps it in. Play back behind the net by Fowler. Fowler will push it up the near side wall. Finding Clark. Braden Clark out there for Youngstown. Dumped in as he will attack the puck. So will Catalano. Fargo looking to break out with it. Here's a turnover. Shot at the side of the net that time. Looked like from Clark. From Braden Clark. Loose puck far corner is Bozer. Bozer back behind the net for Zam Plant. Plant cross ice out of the table of the stick of Skalos. Returns it back for Knubel. Knubel comes across the line with it. Stick handles on the right wing boards. Cut off by Chase Patilla. He dumped back in. Strothman to play it. Rings it around to the near side. And controlled. Here's Link. Link pulls it back behind the cage where it's controlled by Chase Patilla. We're inside of 5 minutes to play in the opening period and no score. Game one of the Clark Cup final with the Youngstown Phantoms and the Fargo Force. Napier around the Youngstown skater. Will dump it in. Swanson trying to get there. By Strothman. Two future UND Fighting Hawks. There's a turnover thrown in front. Centering pass was steered aside by the goalie stick of Jacob Fowler. Kept in by the Force. Shot blocked. Puck comes back to neutral ice at the red line. Knubel spins and will fire it back in. Fargo will start up at a change. Fowler will push it up the near side wall to the blue line. The chance dropping it back off and Strothman at center. Strothman 3 goals in the postseason. Pass over to the far side wall did not connect as Gruba back the other way for Mellenbacher. Quick feed for Miettinen. Finds Joe Paladachuk. Now Mellenbacher. Mellenbacher down the right wing boards. Left right circle firing a shot. And he tried to go to the stick side of the goaltender and wide. Missed the net. Who's back behind the cage. Silkholms comes away with it. Silkholms pass deflected. Gertz gets it back. Reverses field. Try to center for Miettinen off his stick. Fargo trying to keep the offensive pressure on with Silkholms. He's tied up over there with Niziak. 3:48 to go in the opening period. Still no score. Controlled by the Phantoms. They'll look to break out with it. Shane LaChance. Draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers. The captain on this squad. Comes across the line. Here's a turnover. Pass went wide of Gruba by Paladachuk after a hit forced a turnover. Meantime, back come the Phantoms with it. Bouncing puck as they try to control. Backhanded shot save made by Anton Castro. The backhanded shot that time from Isagai. Back comes Fargo with it. Save. Should be save number 7 for Anton Castro. 3:20 to go here in the opening period. Fargo puck in their offensive zone. Scoreless game. Sent back up the far side wall as Isagai trying to grab it on the run. Now controls it at neutral ice. Pass for Servone. Servone stick handles, but tried to go to a toe drag. Shot was blocked, taken back by Bozer, who lost his stick. He'll kick it to neutral ice. Got his stick back. Actually got a stick from his teammate J.P. Turner. He'll head to the bench. Tanner Wallows will come out for Fargo. Behind the net with it, Scott is tied up. Loose puck as we're inside of 3 minutes to play. 2:46 and counting. It's been a quiet first period here in game one of the Clark Cup final. Tanner Wallows. Fargo looks to break out with it as it is Zam Plant. Taken away by Strothman. Andrew Strothman from Beach Park, Illinois. UND commit. Stretch pass at neutral ice. Intercepted. Taken back by Jacob Stender. So there's a loose stick. I think that might have been the one that belonged to Brazen Bozer. It's still over at the bottom of the left circle in the Fargo offensive zone. Puck at neutral ice. Dumped in by the Phantoms as Castro sends it back into the corner. And Fargo looks to break out with it. Cross ice just out of the reach of Tanner Wallows. Taken by Strothman at his blue line. And dumps it in. Here comes a chance. Perkins. Perkins a shot wide. Matthew Perkins denied. Just missed the net. Thrown back in front. They try to stuff it in. Short side that time. Perkins again. And closing the gate was Anton Castro. Kept in though. Cleared but not out. Here come the Phantoms. Batted over to the far corner by Patella. Controlled by Stender, back behind the net for Jacob Napiers. We're inside of 2 minutes to go, first period. And scoreless. Skalos comes across the line. Boris Skalos drops it off in the corner. Battle for it as it sends over to the far corner where Youngstown will get there first. Varner does. Batted away by the Force, and they'll control again. Andrew Centrella with Nick Williams. And is sent all the way down. Icing will be waved off. Leo Gruba to play it for the Force. Finds his defensive mate, Joe Palatichuk. Batted, controlled by the Phantoms. Loose in. Comes back up the wall for Fargo with Brett Link. Link pass at center with it, Swanson. Swanson comes across the line, trying to drop it back for Knubel. Comes up and out of the offensive zone for Fargo. Battle for it right in front of the Youngstown bench, right near the blue line. Final minute to play here in the first period. Gunty over there for the Phantoms. Likewise, Hunter Bischoff. Back to get it, Andrew Centrella. Will drop it off. His D partner, Nick Williams, for the chance. Just off the bench, couldn't handle the puck at neutral ice. Loose, rolling puck at center. Miettinen sends it along for Swanson. Swanson puts the brakes on. Drops it off for Bozer, keeps it in. Link in the corner. Tried to center, he gets tied up. He gets checked that time by Centrella. It's loose, comes back to the point. Stender fires a drive, comes hard off the M boards. Just missed the net. 23 seconds to go in the opening period. It's controlled by the Phantoms and Patilla. And cross ice. Will go not all the way down. Stender will get back to play it. Bozer. Long pass as they backhand it to Silkon. So Mellenbacher, affection from Miettinen. Now Mellenbacher down the right wing boards. He's checked by Strothman. Strothman will cycle it out to the corner. Down to 2 seconds to go in the opening period. We have a hit right over the near side corner with 6/10 of a second left. Will it lead to a penalty or not? As players will have to be separated as we get everybody untangled after that hit over in the near corner. As the officials able to get everybody separated right away. Napier with a couple of parting shots there on Whitelaw. 6/10 of a second. There's 6/10 of a second to go here in the opening period as the penalty boxes will stay empty, and one more face-off will take care of the opening period of play. No penalties in the opening 20 minutes. Coming up, we'll take and recap the first intermission. Players of the week. Both teams were recognized this week. Players of the week. And we'll take a look back. 5 years ago, game one. Going to take a look back on the Wayback Machine. There's the face-off of the first period. Comes to a close. Shots on goal, 6 for Youngstown. 3 for the Force in the opening 20 minutes of play. So Anton Castro probably had to do a little bit more work than Fowler did, as came up with a couple of quality saves to deny the Phantoms in the opening 20 minutes of play. So one period in the books, game one of the 2023 USHL Clark Cup Finals. We are through the opening 20 minutes of play here as we will come back, take a look at the first period numbers and much more here in our intermission report. At the end of one, it is Fargo and Youngstown. No score. This is game one of the USHL Clark Cup Final on Flow Hockey and 101.9 Jack FM and Western Reserve Radio. We'll come back with the intermission report. We'll do that in 2 minutes.
At Wimmer's Diamonds, we make every possible effort to find you something special. As the best jeweler in the Red River Valley, our diamond experts can help you find exactly what you're looking for. Natural or lab-grown diamonds. You choose the size, the shape, the cut, and you choose the engagement ring style. Classic or trendy, ornate or simple. At Wimmer's, we would love to help you leave no stone unturned when finding the perfect engagement ring. Visit Wimmer's Diamonds at 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Your home is filled with so many memories. That tree in the front yard has finally grown and it's perfect. Your kids love their school and their neighborhood friends. But in reality, the house just isn't as functional as it used to be. You don't need to move. You just need to add a little accent to the place you already call home. Accent Kitchen and Bath can help you fall in love with your home again. From a simple kitchen redesign to create that open floor concept, to updating your bathrooms, to even adding on additional rooms for more livable space, Accent can do it all. With 30 plus years of remodeling experience, a 10,000 square foot selection showroom, add in our design services coupled with veteran lead carpenters, you can keep building memories and create a space you love with Accent Kitchen and Bath. Get started with an in-home visit with our design team today. Accent Kitchen and Bath online at chooseaccent.com.
Accent Kitchen and Bath, the perfect showroom for your home. The Red River Regional Marksmanship Center in West Fargo is excited to announce they are expanding. Construction will begin on their new training center later this month. The center will be dedicated to training safe and responsible firearm users. Contributions for construction and naming rights are being accepted now. Find out more at rrrmc.com. The groundbreaking is scheduled for 4 p.m. on Friday, May 26th. You can follow along with progress by following the Red River Regional Marksmanship Center on Facebook. They'll see you at the range.
Welcome back to Shields Arena, Sanford Athletic Park, as we are through the opening 20 minutes. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup final is no score. A couple of quality scoring chances. Jake Rossi had one, and Anton Castro, a couple of quality saves among the 6 saves. I thought there were maybe a couple of shots that were considered maybe shots on goals. They put a little pressure onto the Phantoms, but just 6 shots on goal. Jacob Fowler made all 3 saves that he came through on in the opening period of play. Fowler coming in 5-1 and giving up 11 goals in 6 games, 1.7 goals against average. Combination of Matej Marinoff and Anton Castro between the two. The goals against average 2.32, as Castro now has made 63 saves in this his 3rd appearance. 1 start, played played the 2nd and the 3rd periods in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday. So he has stopped 61 of 63 shots in the postseason. Marinoff, 2.7 goals against average, giving up 12 goals, save percentage of 91%. Fowler's save percentage, 94.2% coming into play this evening, and that number has gone up even a little bit more. No penalties in the first period, and no scoring as well. Face-offs won dead even, 8 apiece between Fargo and Youngstown, 8 apiece. So fairly even, I would say. The scoring chances, better scoring chances for Youngstown there. And again, kind of has a similar feel, I think, for Force fans, Game 1 of the conference final against Lincoln, where obviously a little more familiarity with Lincoln. You had seen them late in the regular season as well. Not quite the familiarity with the Phantoms and the Force at this point yet, but you can kind of tell they're kind of feeling each other out a little bit. You kind of wonder with Youngstown, they got the bus legs. They had that lengthy trip, and again, that's about as far as 2 teams can be in this league. It's over 1,000 miles apart, and you could say maybe trying to get those bus legs and kind of shake the cobwebs off a little bit, but and we'll see if things maybe open up a little bit more in the 2nd period of play. Look at some other notes here around the United States Hockey League. They had the Players of the Week this past week, as we pull up that information, as Fowler, who is Jacob Fowler. Here we go, the U.S. Players of the Week as far as the conference finals. Cole Knuble getting that honor as the forward of the week for the Fargo Force. Is taking a look at those Players of the Week. He was the forward of the week, Cole Knuble was. At 4-game series, 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points, at 14 shots on goal, and was +2 in the plus-minus, helping Fargo advance to the Clark Cup final for the 3rd time since 2018. With a game-winning goal in Game 3 last Sunday in a 3-2 victory. It says he's been a 2-time forward of the week so far this year. Andrew Strothman, the defenseman of the week. 4 games against the Chicago Steel. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and +2 in the plus-minus. A goal and an assist on 4 shots in the Game 3 win, 4-1 over the Steel on Monday. He had 3 goals, 3 assists. He had over 30 assists in the regular season, and he matched his goal total of the regular season with 3 here in the postseason. Jacob Fowler has been the goaltender of the week in the United States Hockey League 7 times, as he is 3-1, the goalie of the week. 1.94 goals against average in that series against the Chicago Steel. Save percentage 93.5%. 28 of 29 shots he stopped in the overtime win. That was in Game 4. And keep in mind, Youngstown trailed a good chunk of that matchup, scored to tie it with just over a little over 2 minutes to go in regulation, and then nearly 8 minutes into the overtime, got the game winner from William Whitelaw. As Fowler, along with Matej Marinoff and Cam Whitehead, were the 3 goaltenders in the league that were honored as all USHL selections. And Fowler, we haven't really seen him on full display as of yet, but he's certainly been very solid, no doubt about that. So let's look at the players of the week as far as the players of the conference finals in the United States Hockey League. We'll take a timeout, and then we will come back and we'll get you ready for the second period here in a few minutes. But we'll take a timeout, and we'll take a look back to Game 1 of the 2018 Clark Cup final between these two franchises. Nearly 5 years ago to the day. We look back at Game 1. There'll be some names that you recall, some names you might have forgot. And we'll take a look back at that. And that'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. As we are through one period of play, Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup Final. It is no score with Youngstown and the Fargo Force. We'll come back with more in 2 minutes.
Head into your next painting project full of confidence with a little help from Fargo Glass and Paint. Conveniently located in the shops at Osgood at 4323 45th Street South. Stop by and ask their experts about Benjamin Moore's Scuff X interior paint. Scuff X provides an effortless painting experience with durable and flawless results. See for yourself in the hallways and locker rooms of the Shields Arena. No task too big when you work with the professionals at Fargo Glass and Paint, your local paint experts.
Traditional tobacco is sacred to American Indians, but cigarettes, chew, and vapes are not. They're addictive and poisonous, destroying our people with disease and cancer, bringing death and heartbreak to our families and our culture. But you can quit, and ND Quits can help. Protect our families, protect our culture.
Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or go to hhs.nd.gov/ndquits. Sponsored by North Dakota Health and Human Services.
We all have our favorite traditions, like fireworks on the 4th or having a hot dog at the ball game. Start your new favorite tradition and head over to Traditions Restaurant and Bar for some of the best breakfast and lunch in town. Every day from 7 to 11, grab yourself an omelet or biscuits and gravy off their breakfast menu. Then stop in for the pizza lunch buffet every weekday from 11 to 2. Traditions, located at 3330 Cheyenne Street across from the lights.
Bobcat success is powered by their people, and you can be one of those people. Bobcat is looking to hire second shift assemblers and weekend nights CNC machinists for their Wahpeton facility. On-the-job training for CNC machinists is offered, so no experience is necessary. There's a $2,000 sign-on bonus and a $5,000 relocation bonus for those who qualify. They're having an interview job fair Wednesday, May 17th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Wahpeton. Apply at bobcat.com/now-hire. Bobcat, an equal opportunity employer.
Fargo Force intermission report as the Force and the Phantoms Game 1 of the Clark Cup Final at Shields Arena. The second time these two franchises have met for the Clark Cup Championship back in 2018. Fargo had home ice to start the series, and let's go back to May 11th of 2018. It was a Friday night at Shields Arena, and the Force took on the Phantoms in Game 1. Fargo had defeated Waterloo in 4 games in the conference final to get to the Clark Cup Final. And Fargo jumped out early as they grabbed the game's opening goal, 8:58 into the opening period. Ivan Prosvetov was in net for the Youngstown Phantoms, and Evan Bell got a feed from the slot and converted to give Fargo the lead early.
Eisen and Robbie Stucker hop off the bench, cleared, but not all the way down. Stucker will hustle back in. Robbie Stucker buys and cutting in the slot. Bell, shot, goal! Evan Bell with the quick wrister in front gives Fargo the early lead. A power play goal on 8:58 of the first. It's 1-0 Force.
That was Bell's first goal of the postseason and gave Fargo the early advantage, 1-0 after 1. Stayed that way until late in the second period. Griffin Loughran, who had himself a big postseason, was a key factor in the series, as Loughran had played for Youngstown previously in his USHL career, and he came up big with this goal in the second period.
A redirect, close to adding to Fargo's lead. Stucker, right circle, Stucker in front for Loughran, he scores! The extra move from Stucker, and Griffin Loughran hammered it home with an R-step. That's a power play goal. And listen to Shields Arena, 14-18 of the second, 2-0 Fargo.
That did make it 2-0, but Youngstown responded and quickly. Defenseman Michael Joyo, a little over 3 minutes later at 17:35 of the second period, responded with the goal, and Youngstown made it a one-goal game at 2-1. Looking back and listen to that highlight.
I think Mann got a piece of that one. Loose, down low, goal line extended. Back to the point, Joyo for Barry. Walks in. Barry, Joyo, one-timer and a goal. And Youngstown has halved the lead. It's 2-1. That one rattled over the shoulder, it appeared, of Strauss-Mann, and the Phantoms have made it a one-goal game. They get a power play goal. It's their fifth of the Clark Cup playoffs.
That did make it a 2-1 game. Fargo put the game away in the third period, and it was again on the power play. Fargo went 3 of 8 on the man advantage in game 1 back in 2018, and current NHLer Ben Myers made it a 2-goal lead in the third.
It is a long time ago, and a lot has changed for both these teams. Falstrom. That's why I don't know if he can take a whole lot of stock in those games. Here's Meyer, a drive, save, rebound, Myers, and a goal! Ben Myers hammers it home. He was the power play goal leader in the regular season and hammers home the rebound. Just seconds into the Fargo power play, their third power play marker of the night. It's a 2-goal lead, 3-1 Force.
Garrett Van Wyen on an empty netter with 2:09 to play in the game to seal a Game 1 win back in 2018 of that Clark Cup final championship series. It was a 4-1 win. Strauss-Mann went on to the University of Michigan, played in the Olympics for Team USA. 24 save that night as Fargo took a 1-0 lead in that series. Stay tuned. More coming up from Shields Arena after this.
At Gunderson's, we think you're pretty darn special. To show our appreciation, we're having the biggest sale of the year. Enjoy store-wide savings like 20, 30, or even 50% off. Shop engagement rings, wedding bands, fashion jewelry, watches, gemstones, and more. Or surprise mom for Mother's Day. At Gunderson's, our customers rock. It's our customer appreciation sale through May 14th. Nothing says it better than OMG. Oh my Gunderson's. A moment, a memory, a lifetime. Uptown in Maine, West Fargo, or Gundersons.com.
Patio season is almost here. Enjoy those nice days on the Knickerbocker Liquor Locker deck. Relish in daily happy hour from 4 to 7 and then stay for dinner. The Knickerbocker Liquor Locker has tasty food specials most nights of the week, including Friday when you can enjoy prime rib or walleye dinner with all the sides. A delicious way to end the week. Check out their Facebook page for tonight's special, which are available for dine-in or carry-out. The Knickerbocker Liquor Locker in Hickson, North Dakota.
When it comes to a diamond, we let you choose. Hi, I'm Aaron at Wimmer's Diamonds. From natural to lab-grown diamonds, we carry all the options our industry has to offer. Our team of experts is here to help you pick the perfect shape, size, color, and cut of diamond, along with a perfect ring mounting for your engagement or anniversary. We also offer the area's largest selection of finished jewelry. When you're ready to give the gift of sparkle, stop by and see us at Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Right now, Amazon warehouses are hiring near you and offering some awesome advantages that come with a job offer. You get a great hourly wage that's paid weekly, and you can choose when you work, whether that's early morning, day, night, and or on the weekend. Not to mention, Amazon associates start receiving benefits on their very first day. To take advantage of all that Amazon offers, visit amazon.com/join today. That's amazon.com/join today. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Jack FM is KRWK Fargo Moorhead, home of the Vikings.
Got a couple of minutes away from the start of the second period. Youngstown, first appearance in the postseason since the 2018-2019 season. Out of the Clark Cup playoffs that year. No playoffs in 2020 because of COVID-19. They were under 500 that year, 22-8 for 48 points. Missed the Clark Cup playoffs in 2020-21. Won just 12 games, won 12 of 49 games that year. And then last year, 29-23 and 10 combined ties and shootout losses, and also missed the postseason. Fargo got beat in the opening round last year by the Omaha Lancers. As the force out for the second period of play. Coming out of the tunnel right now as we get ready for period number 2. It was a pretty, for the most part, a fairly quiet 20 minutes of play here at Shields Arena. So we'll get on the video side for you folks on Flow Hockey, the first period highlights. And there they go, presented by Applebee's. Fargo got things rolling. Owen Mellenbacher, top of the right circle. That one got deflected and up and out of play as he tried to get through the screen that time. Meantime, Anton Castro coming up with one of his 6 first period saves. Loose puck as was loose through the crease, batted aside by the Force and eventually scooped up by Castro. One of the better scoring chances right there as Jake Rossi was denied by Castro. There's another opportunity as well as Justin Varner and that one kicked aside. Here's another opportunity. Another shot as coming in was Sobota to the goaltender's right. That one kicked aside by Anton Castro. And centering feed as Link got tied up in front. Couldn't get to that feed. Another opportunity as well as Isagai crashing the net that time on Anton Castro. So you can see at times Youngstown, they put a little more pressure in on goaltender Anton Castro more so than Youngstown. And Fowler really had to deal with in the first 20 minutes of play. So Youngstown, and again, probably as the game goes along, maybe a lower scoring game probably favors Youngstown a little bit more. Just with their goaltending, pretty stout defensively, they feel they can get, if they can get to 3, they're going to have a good chance to win. Where Fargo, maybe a little bit more firepower. At least you go statistically in the regular season, that was the case. They were one of the top scoring teams in the USHL. Fargo controls. Stender tried to throw one, and that one went up and over the goaltender that time. Looked like just over the crossbar. Max Swanson gets tied up over the corner, taken back by the Phantoms. They look to break out with it, and they will. Miziak will roll that one in. He'll chase after it back behind the net. A chance there as well. Knocks down a Fargo skater. Forced break out with it as here's Link. Link down the right wing boards. He gets tied up. Tied up that time by Strothman. Goes back behind the net as Knubel gets shoved from behind as the Phantoms with Miziak looking to break out with it off the skate of Whitelaw. Whitelaw hustles after it, see if they can force a turnover. On the forward check is Palatachuk has it knocked free. Here comes Whitelaw. Right circle, white stick handles shot, and actually was deflected. Did not get to Castro, ended up into the netting and out of play. But good work there by William Whitelaw out of Rosemount, Minnesota. I believe he was a Shattuck St. Mary's player for a time. 61 points this year. He will play collegiately at Wisconsin, but he worked hard to force that turnover and stick handling and got to the right circle. Face-off will be to the left of goaltender Castro. It's like Serbone will take the draw for Youngstown. They win the face-off. See face-offs for 8 apiece in the opening period. Another shot got through to Castro, and he kicked that one aside. Gruba plays it back behind the net, and puck goes bouncing through center. Back to neutral ice it goes. Is into the Youngstown offensive zone. Serbone in front. Stick handling as Jake Rossi throw it in front. Shot kicked aside by Castro. And it caught between his skates as he looked to crash the net. Rossi gets it back left circle. Works his way back to the point. There comes a shot. High and wide, missed the net. Near side is keeping it in. Coming back up the wall is Centrella for Youngstown. And to pinch that one in deep. Fargo comes out with it. Could be a 2-on-1. Mellenbacher stick handles to the slot. Fires a shot. And that one just out of the reach. It looked like a Fowler. And back come the Phantoms with it. 3-on-3. Bouncing puck. And finally settled down by J.P. Turner for the Force. Pass was errant, loose, as the late offside called and controlled by the Phantoms. Stretch pass did not connect. They tried to find Justin Varner as Castro comes out of the cage, comes behind the cage. Brazen Bozer, for his D partner, Kevin Scott, comes back up the wall. Back over to the corner with it, a little over 2 minutes into the second period. Pass back out, Machu to the blue line, fires a shot high and wide. Missing the net was Jack Wilson. Goes back behind the net as it rolls up the far side wall. Russell throwing the body around as it comes back behind the cage. 17:40 to play in period number 2. Game 1 of the Clark Cup final in scoreless. Here's back to the point. Shot that time by Machu. Kicked aside by Anton Castro. Another shot left circle save made by Castro once more. Second shot from Jack Wilson and prevents a rebound. A stoppage. 17:30 to play here in the second period. Shots on goal now 9-5 in favor of the Phantoms. We are still scoreless. Look at that again. That was the second shot from Wilson and thrown on goal, and Anton Castro able to scoop that one up. 17.5 to play in the second. I'd say crowd-wise, it's kind of taking a wild guess. They were hoping maybe 3,500, closer to 4,000, and I'd say we're somewhere in that vicinity. It's not a sellout, but a good house nonetheless here at Shields Arena for Game 1. Game 2 tomorrow night. Tickets are available at the gate, or you can go to FargoForce.com. Off the draw. Back here to the near side. As Swanson first one there for Fargo. Is a couple of skaters each side of the near side wall to the corner. And Fargo controls is taken there by Knuble for Brett Link. That high-scoring line's been there all season long. Link and Knuble in their second season with Fargo. Link, puck deflected by LaChance. Back behind the net. Swanson drops it back for Link. Centering in front is Knuble got knocked down. Couldn't get a shot off as a hand pass is called. All kinds of traffic in front of Fowler and net as the puck came rolling back towards defenseman Jacob Napier, but the hand pass called. Take a second look at that. Swanson for Link as he tried to center for Knuble as he got knocked down, courtesy of William Whitelaw. And the hand pass called. Overhead view on that. Fowler moving well in goal is both Whitelaw and LaChance denying Knuble there. 17:03 to go in the second period. And no score. Face-off will be just outside the Fargo offensive zone here in Game 1. Tanner Walos. Line of Walos, Plant, and Boris Galos out there. Fargo running 4 lines and an extra forward and 3D pairings and 7 D-men. Marion Moscow got a shift or 2 in that first period. Backhanded in by Miles Gunty out of Bethesda, Maryland. They get set up in the offensive zone to the Phantoms. Hunter Bischoff will play that new program in Augustana down in Sioux Falls. They'll begin play next fall out in Sioux Falls in the brand new Midco Arena. Puck deflected, and I believe it's going to be offsides, and that'll be the case. 16:46 to play in the second. Shots on goal, 9-5 in favor of Youngstown. 3-2 here in the second period. And still no score. Faceoff will be just outside the Fargo offensive zone. Shot in by Walos and stopped by Fowler as he comes back behind the cage. Tried to stop and slow that puck down. Strothman, long pass, does connect as it connects with Bischoff. Bischoff sends it in. Palatachuk in the corner as he is chased by Miles Gunty. Back to neutral ice it goes. It'll go through neutral. Strothman to play it, harassed by Plant. As the puck rolling towards and right in front of Fowler in net. And LaChance looks to break out with it. Mishandled pass, controlled by Skalos, backhanded, set in front. Plant tried a diving attempt to throw it on net, sprawling on net, kicked aside by Fowler. Mishandled puck led to a turnover and a scoring opportunity as the puck will go the length of the ice. Castro will send that along now for Walos. Walos at neutral ice, batted back to Walos by the Phantoms, now to center as Mellenbacher finds a teammate. Silkholz comes across the line, fanned out his shot attempt. Weakley ends up to the end boards. Centering pass, nobody home to get it. Miettinen trying to control. Miettinen, bottom of the circle. Sends it back out for Napier. Napier's shot deflected high and wide. Carried out by the Phantoms. Trying to put the brakes on was Miziak. Now for Chase Patilla. Patilla will play collegiately at Michigan Tech. Puck will go through neutral ice and go all the way down. 15.5 to play. Line change coming for the Phantoms. There's a giveaway turnover. Miziak there's a shot skating in from left circle. It was Nick Williams, kicked aside by Castro, got a piece of it, and it goes up into the netting behind the goal and out of play. 15:24 to play in the second, and no scores. We take a look at that again. It was Miziak as he found between the circles Nick Williams, and the shot kicked aside by Anton Castro. History of the franchise, they started back in the 2009-2010 season to the Youngstown Phantoms. The Anderson Cup champions in 2014 and 15. That was Anthony Noreen was the coach at the time. He is now at Tri-City. Brad Patterson got them to the Our Cup final in 2018 when they lost to Fargo. Kerry Eads was the coach for the Force at the time there. Now still around as the general manager for the Force. That goes through neutral ice and through center. Williams back to play it. Pass they tried to connect, intercepted by Knuble. Knuble drops it off for Swanson. Mack left circle, toe drag, shot, save made Fowler. Stick handling to the toe drag and the shot denied. A little over 5 minutes into the second period. 3-on-2. Long pass connects as putting the brakes on is Isagai. Pass in front, they throw it in front. A backhanded pass from Rossi, but did not connect. He had a chance maybe to shoot, but he had his back to the goaltender. Tried to feed it across. Youngstown able to maintain the zone. Here come the Phantoms again. Rozzi drops it off, centering feed off the back of Isagai. Loose left circle. Rozzi will try it again. Goal line extended. Checked by Bozer. Play to the corner. He's taken off the puck that time. Serbone, he's tied up with Knubel. It's free. Comes back to the point. Centrellis. Centrellis stick handles. And drops it off as they look to cycle. Trying to turn was Rozzi. And controlled by the Force. Here's Link. They'll get to a line change as he will casually flip that one in. Fargo will change. Mangini hops out there. So does J.P. Turner and Charlie Russell. Stretch pass. Did not connect. And icing will be the calls. And went the length of the ice. 14:05 to go in the second. Shots on goal now 10-8 in favor of Youngstown. And nobody has lit the lamp here through nearly 26 minutes of play of game one of the USHL Clark Cup final. No score. Faceoff will be to the left of Fowler. Fowler, as we mentioned, has given up less than 2 goals a game here in the postseason. 27 wins in net, 5 shutouts this year. Up on the leaderboard of the United States Hockey League. Pass intercepted at neutral ice. And to control it, Swoboda. Swoboda will play collegiately at BU, Boston University. Loose and controlled back to neutral ice. Phantoms come across the line. Swoboda's pass deflected. Got batted through the slot to the near corner. As over there to play it is Justin Varner. Varner, battle for it. Couple of skaters each side. The near side corner comes back up the wall as it is back to neutral ice. Still a battle for it. Turner wins that puck battle for Gruba. Leo trying to gather it in and does. Gruba stick handle, throws it on net, and it eventually got to Fowler, and he got a piece of it. And it got deflected on its way there, it appeared. Back to neutral ice. And carrying it in is Varner. Varner dumps it in down the right wing boards. Takes a hit of the process. Which stirs up the crowd a little bit here at Shields Arena. They haven't had a ton to cheer about so far. 13:08 to play in the second period. Still scoreless. Puck taken, forced back out of the zone was Charlie Russell. Russell back to neutral ice. It goes for Plant. Plant's pass off the skate of Wabos. Near side to play it. Comes back to neutral ice. It is controlled by Catalano. Tyler Catalano. Back behind the net he goes. He's checked by Napier. Loose puck Stender. Stender trying to come away with it. Loose collision and Zam Plant. Now will handle things for Fargo. Now Stender. Stretch past Wabos. Wabos rolling puck sent in. Harper bends there for Fargo. Wabos send it back up the wall. Comes back to Brazen Bozer. Wabos in the slot. Shot kicked aside by Fowler. Went low that time. Got it through traffic. Cleared but not out. Bozer throws it high off the glass. Back to play it comes Jack Wilson for Youngstown. 12:15 second period. Still no score. Gathered in by Catalano and eventually dumped in by the Phantoms. They will start up on a change in the corner with it. Bozer. Shots on goal now even at 10 apiece. Here's Silkals comes across the line. Gert Silkals trying to get around a defender. Poke check away by Pittner. One held him, the other robbed him. Line pass connects. Here comes Youngstown. Pass deflected, trying to gather it in. Whitelaw in on Castro, but couldn't get a shot off. Loose puck, goal line extended. As Whitelaw battles for it, so does LaChance. LaChance over the corner. He's tied up with Werner Mietinen. Comes back to the point. And firing a shot. That one wide and missed the net. Shot from the point from Andrew Centrella by the Phantoms. Controlled by LaChance. Comes through the slot. Pass. Actually, was a shot. Did get through. Kicked aside by Castro. Wrister that time by the Phantoms. Puck will go all the way down. The shot went from Whitelaw. As Patilla, long pass to neutral ice. That connects. They'll find Whitelaw again. Just into the zone. Whitelaw trying to poke it free was Brett Link. Whitelaw down to his knees. Give away into turnover. Napier for Link. Link turns as he is tied up with Patilla in front. Backhanded shot. And denied by Fowler. As we've got a whistle and we will have... Looks like the faceoff's going to stay in the Fargo offensive zone. Link trying to plead his case maybe for a penalty. As take a look at the replay before we go to break as Link able to get around the Youngstown skater, able to get around Patilla, but was denied by Fowler. 11:03 to go second period. No score with the Phantoms in the Force. Game one of the USHL Clark Cup final. We'll be back in 1 minute.
I know everyone is ready for summer, but is your car? Bring your car in for a pit stop at Smith Motors in Wapaton. Get a multi-point inspection done for those long summer rides. Oil change, new tires, brake pads, and rotor installations are all something to look into, so you can spend more time at the lake rather than stuck on the side of the road. Plus, you can get 10% off all AC work located at 101 North 11th Street in Wapaton, or give them a call at 701-642-6671. That's 701-642-6671.
You know, now that summer's here, we're going to be spending a lot of time together, my friend. Outside mowing, spending time on the lake fishing together, heck, even getting the honey-do list done. Yeah, it's going to be a good summer, don't you think, Busch Light? I thought you'd say that.
Grab an ice-cold Busch Light and let the good times roll. Pick up 30-pack at your favorite liquor store today. Busch Light, smooth taste with a crisp finish.
Honey, who are you talking to?
Oh, nobody. Just an old friend.
Please drink responsibly.
Well, we got the beer can race for Game 1 of the Clark Cup Final, and that was pretty much a start-to-finish win for Coors Light. There was we had nobody go down on the ice. That was one of the cleaner races of the season. Coors Light was your winner. Welcome back to Shields Arena. I'm Brad Anderson. Josh Lindis back at our studios. 11:03 to play in period number 2. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup Final in Youngstown and Fargo, no score. Knubel will take the draw for the Force. Strothman will ring it around over to the far side and is controlled by Youngstown. Serbone. Drop pass. Here's a shot that they didn't get a lot on it as he's the guy trying to find Serbone. Now for Rossi, back up the wall. Pass is intercepted. Handling it in the corner is Leo Gruba. Finds Joe Palatichuk. Palatichuk, just a handful of games at the end of the regular season. Came back at the end of the regular season and a solid D-man for the Force as Palatichuk just one assist here in the postseason, but Force fans and team will tell you it's probably one of the steadier defensive players. A very offensive-minded defenseman as well. As Strothman exchanging pleasantries, looks like with Brett Link. 10:28 to go in the second period as Link and Knubel, they have worked their way up the scoring column in Fargo Force history. Knubel 66 points in the regular season. Brett Link tied with Max Swanson for second in scoring at 55 points. And no Kyle Smolin, suspended for 2 games. Got a game misconduct. Got a hit on Patrick Raftery Monday down in Lincoln, so he misses both games this weekend. 2-game suspension. Got a game misconduct on Monday. So not just 1, but 2. Neutral ice controlled by Youngstown, but taken back by J.P. Turner for the Force. And to come across the line with it. Russell trying to reach and try to find Turner. Intercepted at the face-off circle by Youngstown. They'll fire it back in. Matthew Perkins does the honors. Bozer will play it back behind his goaltender Castro. Fargo breaks out with Anthony Mangini. He is scoreless here in the postseason, and he took a hit. Nice hit there by Andrew Centrella. Puck over the corner as Youngstown looks to break out with it. And they will. As fired in by Justin Viner. Played back behind the net by goaltender Anton Castro. A little over halfway through the second period. No score. Comes back to the point. Fumbling it was Nick Williams. Here comes Mangini. Mangini across the line as Stender with him. Now drops it off Turner. Back for Mangini. Pass never got to him. Battled away by the Phantoms, but kept in by the Force. But that puck goes up and out of play. Over here on the near side stands with 9:37 to play in the second. I believe we'll have another media timeout. Shots on goal. 12-10 in favor of Youngstown. As here in the period, 6 for the Phantoms, 7 for the Force. A little over 9.5 minutes to play. 9:37 to go in period number 2. Youngstown and Fargo, no score. Game 1 of the Clark Cup Final from Shields Arena. We're back in 1 minute.
Filters are great, but great skin is better. Hi, I'm Chelsea, an aesthetic nurse specialist at Wellness District. Understanding your skin's concerns and how to deliver results is why Wellness District is acclaimed as a top med spa. At your complimentary consultation, our Visia Skin Analysis will show you the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to your skin. We'll set up a treatment plan to get your skin looking and feeling its best. Book at FargoWellnessDistrict.com. Our expert team looks forward to seeing you at locally owned Wellness District in West Fargo.
It's Outback Days going on now at Muscatel's Subaru. While supplies last, Muscatel's has new Outback models available now. No waiting. All with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive for safety and security 4 seasons of the year. Ask about Muscatel's complimentary accessory credit with new Outback purchase. Muscatel Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
Face off just outside the Fargo offensive zone. 9:37 to play second period. Shields Arena. No score with Youngstown at Fargo. Youngstown's first appearance to Fargo in 5 years, back to the 2018 Clark Cup final. Fargo has not won a home game in the Clark Cup final since game 1 in 2018. Catalano pass into the slot. They stick handle. Shot. The save made. Miles Gunty's stick handling kind of the high slot area. And save made by Anton Castro. Catalano separated from Tanner Wabos. Looked like Werner Miettinen as well with 9:18 to play in the second period. Kind of through the course of this, which a little over 30 minutes, kind of seems like Youngstown is maybe had a slight edge in control of play, a little more offensive ice time, more so than Fargo, although it's maybe leveled off a little bit here in the second. Fargo, as we mentioned last year, got beat in the opening round of the playoffs by Omaha. 6th trip to the Clark Cup final. Their first 2 years of the franchise got to the final. Year 1 under Dean Blaze, Steve Johnson in year 2. 6th trip to the Clark Cup final, but they've won just one time. That was 2018. Battle for it to the face-off dot, controlled as making of the shot was Wilson. Into the far corner, comes back behind the cage. Kevin Scott tied up with a Youngstown skater, tied up there with Miles Gunty. Puck comes to the corner. Skalos flips it out. And at neutral ice, Wilson trying to control, stick handles, and check taken off the play by Boris Skalos. And Fargo will handle it with Kevin Scott at his blue line through center. Taken back by Wilson. Puck battle at neutral ice as Bischoff comes across the line, but taking off the puck in the process. 8:42 period and no score. Tanner Wabos, cross-ice pass connects with Plant. Plant comes across the line, trying to take him off the puck, and successfully doing so was Jack Wilson. Back come the Phantoms. At the blue line with it is Mijiak. Cross-ice pass, LaChance just off the bench. Tried to center in front as Mijiak got tied up. Had to throw it in front to the goaltender's right. Pass did not connect. That'll forward to the half wall far side. Taken out by Stender for the Force. Stender will softly backhand it in. And they will start up at a change with the Force. Sil Collins and Mellenbacher. First one's off the bench for first-year head coach Nick Oliver. Played one of those Clark Cup finals back in 2008-2009 with the Force. Both he and Chad Demers, head coach and associate head coach. Played in Clark Cups previously. And they're playing time with the Force. Across the line with it. Stick handling Palatachuk for Silcon. Silcon throws it on net. Kicked aside by Jacob Fowler. 11 saves for Fowler so far. 7:40 to play in the second. Pass deflected and back through neutral ice. Fluttering puck is trying to settle it down with Palatachuk. Patilla backhands it and connects as they get the puck across the line to the Phantoms. Taken back by Joe Palatachuk for Gruba. Gruba backhanded, flipped out. Strothman will be the first one there as Fargo will change up skaters. Knubel and Kevin Scott. First one's off the bench. A line change. Whitelaw fumbled with the puck, loose through center. Backhanded in by Kevin Scott. Knubel. Knubel in the corner puts the brakes on. Cole Knubel back to the point for Kevin Scott. Scott a shot. Save made by Fowler. Pass in front. And Swanson trying to find Link, but he could not handle the pass on the doorstep. I think that pass took a little too slow and too much time to develop after the first shot from Knubel. Youngstown had time to respond and answer quickly. Here comes Knubel, puts the brakes on. Feed for Link, just missed. Brett gets it back in the right circle. Drop it to the corner, Swanson. Near side, Knubel. Knubel tied up. Battles for the puck. Comes back to the point, Jacob Stender. Stender throws it on net, kicked aside by Fowler. Rebound coming out of the slot. And was eventually steered aside by Andon Serbone. Dumped in by Youngstown. And Stender back behind the cage. He's harassed by Rozzi. And Stender gets free. And will backhand that one along. Pass to not connect with Swanson. Controlled by the Phantoms. Pass back to center. Serbone comes across the line to the left circle. Serbone trying to drop it off for Rozzi. Rozzi in the corner. Goes down to his knees with it. Fumbled with the puck. Tied up with Stender. Comes free at the face-off circle. Controlled by J.P. Turner for the Force. 3-on-3. And dumped in by Turner. Loose puck over the corner. Turner is tied up. Third skater coming in. Nick Williams there for the Phantoms. He'll come away with it. Sermone's pass for Rozzi, looking to handle it and drops it off as Isagai. Isagai to the corner. Met there by Palatichuk. Tied up to the boards over the corner there by Joe Palatichuk. Fargo looks to break out with it. Mangini. Backhanded pass, bouncing puck as they look to control. Turner, and taken back by the Phantoms. 5.5 to play here in the second. Still no score here in game one of this first game of the 2023 Clark Cup final. Icing will be the calls. It's sent down by Youngstown. So shots on goal, 13-12 in favor of Youngstown. And I get the feeling that whoever blinks first, or maybe the later we go, whoever blinks last might be the one that comes out on top. Seen a few more scoring chances from Fargo here in the second period, but I'd say overall maybe a slight edge to Youngstown here early. Waddles will take the draw for the Force. It's Brandon Swoboda. Kind of getting the feeling just from what I watched and read with Youngstown, this style of play, this feels like what Youngstown wants to do. Here's Swoboda, a little lower scoring team, kind of doing it. I talk about baseball pitching and defense, so they're going to try and do it with goaltending and defense. It's center, weak pass as they tried to dump that one in, but I believe it's going to be offside the call. Trying to find Perkins at the blue line right in front of the Youngstown bench. 5:08 to go in the second and no score. New champion this year is Sioux City. Clark Cup champion last year, the Chicago Steel 2 years ago. In fact, they clinched the title in this very building mid-May of 2021. .508 to play in the second. You can tell this crowd here at Shields Arena just wants to make some noise. They want to keep themselves into this, but they just haven't had a lot of chances to do so. I really say Youngstown game plan, I don't want to say to a T, but I think they've got this game, the pace of this game where they want it. Center ice face-off. Gunty able to handle the puck and send it in. Bischoff tied up in the corner. It's loose back behind the net. Harper Bentz for Fargo. Local product from across the river in Moorhead. Skalos for Bentz. Bentz comes across the line, drops it off for Tanner Walos. Walos stick handles pass by to center, deflected out. Napier a drive, just missed the net. Skalos, weak shot. Now a shot by Bentz at the side of the goal. Fargo putting some pressure on here with this shift. Cleared but not out, handled by Napier. Skalos, it's a pair of goals here in the postseason, including one last Friday against Lincoln in Game 2. Carried out by Bischoff at center, and he will throw it on goal from center ice. Pass from Castro, sends it back to neutral ice, was in a hurry to get rid of it. Controlled by Stender. Stender has Mellenbacher with him. Stender had to drop it off. Mellenbacher couldn't get to it. He might have been played off the puck. And cleared. Nope, kept in. Here's Mellenbacher. Mellenbacher into the slot. Backhanded shot. Save made by Fowler. And he'll hang on. 4:11 to play in the second period. 15 shots on goal now for Youngstown. 13 for Fargo. So 15 saves for Anton Castro and 13 for Fowler so far. As we take a second look at that. Waddles tried to center, hit the back of the skate. And then Napier, trailing the play, able to throw that one on net as they got through traffic. And Fowler, the top of the right of the edge of the crease, right there. 4:11 to play in the second. Line of Miettinen, Mellenbacher, and Silkolns out there. Palatichuk and Leo Gruba on defense. No score. A chance. Mijak and Whitelaw out there. That line out there for the Phantoms. Busy week here at the arena. They had foreigner concert here on Wednesday night. Off the draw. It's controlled by Gruba at the half wall for Mellenbacher. Mellenbacher mishandled the puck. Mellenbacher 2 goals in that series clincher Monday. Has 3 goals and an assist so far in the postseason. Came over from Muskegon early February. On the corner with it, Silkolns takes a hit, and the skater Patilla is down. Shot from the point, save made. Loose in front. Silkolns trying to bat it home. Sprawling save by Fowler, and he's able to hang on to the puck. Silkolns on the doorstep is sprawling save by Fowler. Down to the ice, and Silkolns trying to jam that one home as we take a second look at it. The shot from came out to Silkolns is Miettinen got tied up with a Youngstown skater in front. There was the first save by Fowler. Walk off a couple of sets of skates, and then Silkons trying to see if he could drive that one home past a sprawling Fowler, and was able to come up with a save. 15 saves for Jacob Fowler. Melbourne, Florida will play collegiately at Boston College. 3:47 to play in the second. And it's still scoreless. We have penalties coming. Yeah, we do. So Strothman is in. Is that going to be just it? So a slashing call on Strothman. So there is the first penalty of the night. It'll be against Youngstown. You can see a look at Andrew Strothman. A slashing call there. It'll be at 16-13. On a slash was the call. Actually going to send in Silkons as well. So it's a moment of glee there for Force fans, thinking they were going to get a power play, but that's not going to be the case, as Gert Silkons is in as well, as both these penalties at 16-13. As Strothman was a slash. Let's see what it is here for Gert Silkons as well. 3:47 to play in the second period. And no score here from Shields Arena. .347 to play as a look on the penalties. Both slashing calls for Strothman and Silkons at 16-13 off the faceoff. So 4-on-4 for a couple of minutes. Napier force to the corner by Isagai. Now Link tied up with Williams. Isagai joins in as well in a puck battle in the near corner. 3.5 to play. 1:43 of 4-on-4, and pass wide, reaching for it was Stender. Centrella. Pass intercepted back in neutralized Stender. Across the line comes Knuble. Knuble into the slot. Shot blocked. Sprawling block that time by Nick Williams. Cleared? No. Back out to neutralize as Napier unable to keep it on the zone. Napier drops it off for Knuble. Puck comes to rest now. Coming to help is Gruba. As Isagai will force Gruba back toward his goaltender. 3 minutes to play here in the second. 1:11 to go on the 4-on-4. Still no score. Pass wide of Miettinen. As that will go the length of the ice as Williams. E-to-D pass finding Wilson. Loose puck as loose bottom of the right circle. Controlled by Werner Miettinen for the Force. Trying to get his way back to the, kind of work his way still at the backhand. Now back out for Gruba. Gruba stick handles. Joe Palanichuk. Palanichuk down low for Gruba. Return feed. Palanichuk, a one-timer fired wide. Palanichuk in the corner. Now Swanson takes a hit from Whitelaw. Puck comes free. Palanichuk battle for it back towards the blue line of the far side boards. And finally coming away with it is Whitelaw for Youngstown. He'll drop it off. Miziak batted out to neutral ice. Poke check away by the Force as Chase Patillo controls now for Youngstown. 20 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Wilson comes across the line. Wilson pass trying to find Whitelaw. Intercepted by the Force as Max Swanson controls. Future UND standout, just 17 years old is Max Swanson. Pass is intercepted, controlled, is reaching for it, gathering it in was Miziak. Back to neutral ice it goes as Perkins had it loose. Gathered in Mangini. Anthony Mangini firing a shot. Glove save, Fowler. Nobody wanted to handle that puck. Charlie Russell gets tangled up with Patella. They'll have to be separated from one another as a pair of officials. Both the linesmen, Zach Carson and Patrick Giles, will get those two separated. Penalties have expired. They have empty penalty boxes for now. Meantime, Mangini and Strothman have to be separated as well. We'll halt things with 1:42 to go in the second period of play. There was Mangini. Mangini racing in left circle, and Fowler with the save as like Strothman as Russell skated in on the goaltender. Sprayed him a little bit, and Strothman sticking up for his netminder, and that's what led to the minor disruption with 1:42 to go in the second period. Shots on goal 18-14, so Fargo 15 shots on Fowler. They have put far more pucks on net on Fowler in the second period, but nothing past him as of yet. No score. JP Turner on the draw for the Force against Brandon Swoboda. Back to the blue line. Mangini keeps it in. Backhands it in. Charlie Russell back behind the net. Russell looking to control. Now over the corner. Tied up with J.P. Turner. Comes back out towards the point. And back to neutral ice. Brazen Bozer for Fargo controls. Now Napier. Napier pass off the skate of Turner. With a kick that one to the zone. Controlled. Fumbling with it. Swoboda now trying to gather it in. Having a tough time with it at center. And taken back by Charlie Russell for Fargo. High up the glass. Fischel had a duck out of the way of that one. Carried in by Youngstown. And handling it and keeping it in that time was Clark. Force come out. Pass off the skate and stick of Charlie Russell. He'll be the first one there as puck into the offensive zone. Back over in the corner. Final minute of play here in the second period with Turner. Now Russell. Russell back behind the net. Russell trying to get free. Drops it off for Turner. J.P. Turner, goal line extended, turns towards the net, fumble with it. He wanted to put a shot on goal, but hopped over his stick as he looked to pull the trigger on a shot. Turner looking for his first point of the postseason. Icing called. The faceoff will come back into the Fargo offensive zone with 33.7 seconds to go in the second period. J.P. Turner turning so he could try and use the forehand, but a little too much stick handling and unable to rip cord on a shot to the goaltender's right. Game 2 tomorrow night, an hour earlier, 6:05 Central, 7:05. You're watching/listening back in Youngstown. Games 3 and 4 if necessary. Game 3 next Friday night at the Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio. Game 4 would be next Saturday. Game 5 back at Fargo if you need it on the 23rd. I wouldn't be shocked if we wouldn't need it, quite frankly. Got a whistle and penalty. Yes, going to be a high sticking call, I believe, against Fargo. 28.3 seconds to go here in the second period of play. Is the puck played with a high stick, or we have a high sticking call? The puck might have been played with a high stick. Nope, it is going to be a penalty. High sticking the call, and Gert Silkholz is headed in, taking his second penalty of the period for the Force. So Youngstown will get a power play here as this one comes at 19:32 is Silkholz. 2 minutes on a high sticking call, and there's our first power play of the night for either side. Youngstown on the power play in the postseason, 4 of 22, 18%. The Fargo penalty killed, 75%, 12 of 16. That series against Chicago in Game 1, they were 1 of 3 in the man advantage in a 4-1 victory over the Steel. Game 2 went 2 of 6 in the 5-2 loss, 1 of 2 in the Game 3 win over the Chicago Steel. And went 0 of 2 in the overtime victory in the series clincher in Game 4. Fargo wins the draw. They'll control, and they will send that one the length of the ice. Fargo led the USHL in shorthanded goals as Fowler comes way over to the corner. Finds Strothman. Fowler gets back between the pipes. 13 seconds to go second period. Whitelaw at center. Whitelaw comes across the line. Here's Serboen in on Castro. Full head of steam, left circle. Couldn't get a shot off. Puck near side, Whitelaw trying to find Strothman, intercepted by Knubel. Knubel trying to get around Strothman, and that'll end the second period of play. Minute 32 left on the Gert Silkholz penalty, so they will have the power play, will be Phantoms for 92 seconds as we will come back out for the third period of play. Well, Fargo, maybe things starting to slant a little bit more towards the home team. They did get 15 shots on goal in the second period. Shots on goal in the second, 15 for Fargo. 2-period total of 18, and the Youngstown Phantoms 8 shots on goal, a 2-period total of 14. So both goaltenders have gotten it done so far, but after a fairly quiet and almost inactive first period at times for Jacob Fowler, Fargo put a little more pressure on him and some instances of kind of lengthier and more sustained pressure on him. But he has answered the bell, and you would expect that he would. If as highly regarded as he has been all season long and coming into this championship series, he will be a big factor, and he certainly has been through 2 periods of play. So penalties, 2 penalties, 4 minutes for Fargo, 1 penalty, 2 minutes for the Youngstown Phantoms. It'll be a minute 32 on the Silkholz penalty when we come back out for the third period of play. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the intermission report, take a look at that second period, and much more coming up in our intermission report. 2 periods are in the books here at Shields Arena in Southwest Fargo. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup Final. Youngstown 0, And the Fargo Force, nothing. We're back with the intermission report after this 2-minute timeout.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Your home is filled with so many memories. That tree in the front yard has finally grown, and it's perfect. Your kids love their school and their neighborhood friends. But in reality, the house just isn't as functional as it used to be. You don't need to move. You just need to add a little accent to the place you already call home. Accent Kitchen and Bath can help you fall in love with your home again. From a simple kitchen redesign to create that open floor concept, to updating your bathrooms, to even adding on additional rooms for more livable space, Accent can do it all. With 30 plus years of remodeling experience, a 10,000 square foot selection showroom, add in our design services coupled with veteran lead carpenters, you can keep building memories and create a space you love with Accent Kitchen and Bath. Get started with an in-home visit with our design team today. Accent Kitchen and Bath online at chooseaccent.com.
Accent Kitchen and Bath, the perfect showroom for your home.
Through 2 periods of play here at Shields Arena, Southwest Fargo. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup Final. Youngstown and the Fargo Force. No score through 40 minutes of play. And talked about earlier, maybe a little bit more of an edge towards Fargo in the second period, but I think the more and more we go along, lower scoring game maybe favors Youngstown. Maybe the style of play, you could tell Fargo just trying like they could to put a little pressure on goaltender Jacob Fowler, trying to make it sustained pressure, and just have not been able to do it consistently through 2 periods of play. Shots on goal in the second period looks like they took, no, that's correct, 18-14 in favor of the Fargo Force, 15-8 the second period in favor of Fargo through 2 periods of play. As refresh the numbers for you, up 15-8 in the second period in favor of the Fargo Force. So Anton Castro 14 saves as he continues to impress here. As this his third game, his second start of the postseason. As I talked about, for Force fans, kind of the same conundrum. Really, the years that in recent years that they've been to the Clark Cup, 2018, they had Strauss Mann, and he was pretty much logged most of the minutes. Ryan Bischel ended up being the backup, but was more than capable. But he did not get a lot of ice time in the postseason. Mann was the hot hand, and it was hard for then coach Kerry Eads to take him out of the lineup. And really, the change in 2021 really came from Brennan Boynton got suspended. They had a big skirmish in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals that year versus Sioux City. He was suspended for 2 games, so they had to go to Andrew Miller, and Miller came up absolutely huge with a shutout in the Game 2, a series clincher of the Western Conference Finals over Sioux City that year, and then beat the high-scoring Chicago Steel in Game 1, lost in Game 2. They went back to Boynton in Game 3, and Chicago peppered him. He was lifted to the second period, and Miller finished the rest of the series. Penalties, 2 penalties, 4 minutes for the Fargo Force, as we had a pair of matching minors at 16-13 of the second period. Andrew Strothman and Gert Silkons of the Force, 2 minutes for slashing at 16-13. We were 4-on-4, and then Silkons went in again at the final minute of the second period at 19:32 of the second. 2 minutes for high sticking, still 1:32 to go on that power play here for the Youngstown Phantoms. But Youngstown, 4 of 22 coming into play tonight on the power play in the postseason, where Fargo, where that power play had really struggled mightily, especially against Lincoln where they were 0 for 31 in the regular season and didn't score until their 36th opportunity against Lincoln in the power play. The game winner from Cole Knuble, 1-0 Game 1 victory back in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals a week ago on Thursday. So shots on goal, 18-14 in favor of Fargo. No score through 2 periods of play, and 2 penalties, 4 minutes for the Fargo Force. Something to keep in mind here as you Force come in. Of course, had that 5-goal third period in Game 4 Monday against Lincoln. 9 of their 21 playoff goals have come over the final 20 minutes. So keep that in mind. So can Fargo keep that trend going? And you go back to the Lincoln series, the only goal of Game 1 came late in the final minute on the Cole Knuble power play winner. That was in Game 1. You go back in Game 2. They did not score in Game 2 at a 4-3 loss last Friday. Got a goal in Game 3 of the third period, a Knuble goal, which made it a 2-goal lead. A little over 10 minutes to play, and then Mason Marcellus, after they had pulled goaltender Cameron Whitehead, made it a 3-2 game with a minute to play. And then they had the 5-goal assault in the third period, with Knuble getting 3 goals in the third period, an even strength goal, an empty net goal, and a power play goal as well. Faceoffs won of the second period, 7-6 in favor of Fargo, 15-14 through 2 periods of play in favor of the Force in that very important statistical category as well. So we'll take a timeout, come back with more of our intermission report as we get you ready for the third period of play. It has been a grinder through 2 periods of play, and still nobody has found the back of the net through 2 periods of play. No score with Youngstown and Fargo. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup Final. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more in 2 minutes.
At Wimmer's Diamonds, we make every possible effort to find you something special. As the best jeweler in the Red River Valley, our diamond experts can help you find exactly what you're looking for. Natural or lab-grown diamonds. You choose the size, the shape, the cut, and you choose the engagement ring style. Classic or trendy, ornate or simple. At Wimmer's, we would love to help you leave no stone unturned when finding the perfect engagement ring. Visit Wimmer's Diamonds at 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
I want to talk to someone about a business loan. Can you help?
How much is my monthly payment?
How quickly can we
What
close?
am I eligible
Is there anything
for?
I can
What
do?
is my interest rate?
We know you have a lot of questions. Our team of business bankers at First Western Bank and Trust will coach you through your financial decisions. You'll get honest answers from experienced lenders who have your best interest in mind. Meet with John, Jerry, Emily, Jace, or myself, Thomas Strami, all right here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Head into your next painting project full of confidence with a little help from Fargo Glass and Paint. Conveniently located in the shops at Osgood at 4323 45th Street South. Stop by and ask their experts about Benjamin Moore's Scuff X interior paint. Scuff X provides an effortless painting experience with durable and flawless results. See for yourself in the hallways and locker rooms of the Shields Arena. No task too big when you work with the professionals at Fargo Glass and Paint, your local paint experts.
You know, now that summer's here, we're going to be spending a lot of time together, my friend. Outside mowing, spending time on the lake fishing together, heck, even getting the honey-do list done. Yeah, it's going to be a good summer, don't you think, Busch Light? I thought you'd say that.
Grab an ice-cold Busch Light and let the good times roll. Pick up 30-pack at your favorite liquor store today. Busch Light, smooth taste with a crisp finish.
Honey, who are you talking to?
Oh, nobody. Just an old friend.
Please drink responsibly.
Well, the NHL playoffs, pair of games tonight. Toronto just scored as they are fighting for their postseason lives as they trail the underdog and upstart Florida Panthers 3-1, as that is Game 5. They are tied at 2 with about 4.5 minutes to go in the third period of play. Later tonight, Edmonton and Vegas. Second round matchup out west. That series is tied 2 apiece. That's a real even matchup there. That'll be coming up 9 p.m. Central Time, the face-off there. Major League Baseball, the Minnesota Twins, a 2-1 victory over the Chicago Cubs. And one note here locally, Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, their game was rained out tonight in Kane County. Of a doubleheader tomorrow in suburban Chicago. 2 7-inning games there. Game 1 will be at 3:15 p.m. Central Time. Our sister station, 740 The Fan, pregame will be at 2:55 for that matchup. And they'll play 2 7-inning games as they do in minor league play. The schedule for this series an hour earlier, typical usual 6:05 start time on Saturdays here at Shields Arena. Game 2 of the Clark Cup final. Pregame will be about 5:50 Central Time, and then next week games will be both at 7:05 Eastern Time. So here, Fargo time 6:05. Game 3 will be a week from tonight at the Covelli Center in Youngstown. Same time if a Game 4 would be needed on Saturday the 20th. Game 5 would be on a Tuesday, the 23rd, here at Shields Arena, and would be a 7:05 face-off for that as they had to work around some concerts and events that were already on the calendar. Because last week, instead of the Friday-Saturday start, they went Thursday and Friday because they had an event here on Saturday and got the rescheduled Lil Wayne concert coming up on Sunday the 21st here at Shields Arena as well. Looking back on it, back in that postseason run in 2018 for Youngstown, Fargo was the 3 seed, and they had to win 11 playoff games, you might recall, in the playoffs that year. You go back to 2018 postseason playoffs. They were the number 3 seed behind Waterloo, who won the Anderson Cup that year in Omaha, as they defeated Tri-City. Best 2 out of 3. They swept them as they won 5-1 and 3-0 in the opening round. And they never had home ice after that until the Clark Cup final. They were on the road to start in Omaha in the second round, split 2 games in Omaha, won game 1, lost game 2, then won 6-5 and 2-0 to advance on. Same thing in Waterloo. Lost game 1, won game 2 that year in the Western Conference final, and then won 6-4 and 3-2 to advance to the Clark Cup final back in 2018. And then Youngstown as well, they had to win. Fargo winning 3 out of, they ended up playing 14 postseason games. And you look at Lincoln as well, the Stars ended up playing, they played 2, and then they ended up, I think it was 9 games they played in a span of 15 days. And it does get to be a busy stretch, but that's where that first round bye is honestly very important for that reason, just because, quite frankly, like I said, you got that few extra days off like Fargo had. They certainly have that and use that to their advantage. But going back in 2018, Youngstown won their opening round series. They swept Dubuque 3-1 and 3-2. That actually went 3-0 over Dubuque. They swept them 3 straight. Then had Team USA. It was the U17s that year. They won game 1 on the road, lost 10-6 in game 2, and then won 7-5 and 5-1 over the U17s that year to get into the Clark Cup final. They were the 2 seed that year in their only Clark Cup final appearance going into this year in 2022 and 23. And again, they had not made the postseason the last couple of years, and then no playoffs back in 2020. That does it for our intermission report. We will come back for the third period of play. It'll be 1:32 left of power play time for the Phantoms when we come back for period number 3. Shots on goal, 18-14 in favor of Fargo, including 15-8 in the second period. The lamp has not been lit on either side. Scoreless with the Phantoms and the Force. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup final. We'll get to the third period after this 2-minute break.
It's a miracle.
Each January, the community donates to Sanford Children's Hospital during the Cares for Kids Radiothon. Now you can support the kids all year long with Miracle Mondays, presented by Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry.
Every Monday.
Each Monday, you can help by supporting participating sponsors who dedicate a portion of their sales to help save lives of children in our community.
Thank you so much.
Find out where at jackfmfargo.com or text KIDS to 35270. Sponsored by
Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry.
The home of the hardworking, the daring, the adventurous. Live here in Line X country. It's where you can protect, customize, accessorize, and upfit your vehicle from bed to bumper and beyond. Bed liners, floor liners, tonneau covers, step bars, toolboxes, tie downs, and more. We'll help put it all together for you in a one-stop shopping experience. This is Line X country, where adventure begins and good times never end.
Main Avenue, West Fargo.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Add a pop of color to your home's exterior with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Exterior Flat Paint. It's a premium paint and primer in one that provides maximum coverage for long-lasting color and withstands repeated cleaning, scrubbings, and burnishing. Transform your home today with a gallon of Grand Distinction Flat Exterior Paint for $42.69 after 11% rebate. Good through May 14th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
It takes a special kind of person to be a nurse. Not just anyone can do it. This Nurses Week, Essentia Health wants to encourage everyone to give a big thank you to nurses. Although the job you do is difficult, the way you do it is exceptional. In honor of nurses everywhere, thank you for your unwavering commitment and dedication to providing high-quality patient care each and every day. Thank you for delivering extraordinary care and making a healthy difference in people's lives.
Jack FM is KRWK Fargo Moorhead, home of the Vikings.
Let's get to the second period highlights. Feed through the crease that time from Jake Rossi didn't connect. Fargo coming back with Owen Mellenbacher, and Mellenbacher shot that went wide of Fowler, nearly hit the goal pipe. Boris Kalos forcing a turnover and dropped it in front for Zam Plant, reaching for it, trying to reach with a backhand, and getting a piece of it was goaltender Jacob Fowler. That Fargo setting that up off a turnover, and then Nick Williams getting a feed in the high slot. Kicked aside by Anton Castro. Meantime, Fargo came back. Max Swanson and toe drag went to the forehand. Save made by Fowler. Put a little bit more pressure on as the period went on. Leo Gruba trying to handle it, threw it in front. And kicked aside that time by goaltender Fowler. And Brett Link again went to the backhand, hard into Fowler into the crease area. Fargo kept the pressure on as we went on to the second period. The first shot from Knubel, and then Swanson trying to find Link, but the pass did not connect. And Tanner Wabos pass off the back of the skate, but came back to Jacob Napier, and Napier's shot was kicked aside. So you can see, maybe didn't feel like it at times in the second period, but Fargo did put more considerable pressure on the goaltender. Maybe just didn't seem like it. Didn't really come in bunches. It kind of came really piece by piece. So we get ready for the start of the third period as Serbone and Knubel on the draw. And again, power play time here for Youngstown as they are under 90 seconds left, 1:24, and the penalty to Gert Silkon's shot went wide of Castro's. They try to put some pressure on. 4 of 22 of the postseason on the power play are the Phantoms. Fargo's one shorthanded goal. The Charlie Russell winner is Strothman. It's going to be a penalty against Fargo as that stick leg came up towards the face of Strothman. And it's going to turn now into a 5-on-3 as the official checking on Andrew Strothman. And I think it will be a slash or a high sticking call. And Brett Link is going in, and it'll be a high sticking call on Link. So Silkon's on some company now in the bin. 26 seconds into the third period, and golden opportunity for Youngstown. They will be 5-on-3 for a minute 6. The power play will continue on here for the Phantoms. Maybe our first real critical point of the game coming right now in a game that's been fairly clean. It's been physical at times, but not to the point of being real cheap. So minute 6 of 5-on-3. Serbone will take the draw for the Phantoms here early on in a scoreless game. They win the draw. Strothman works his way towards the high slot. That's right circle. Strothman gets it back. Works his way to the slot. Throws it on goal. Waiting for a rebound. On the doorstep was LaChance. It never came. Save made by Anton Castro. Meantime, on the other end, if Fargo kills this off, does that swing the momentum back in the home team's favor? As we take a look at it from the reverse angle, as Strothman just as LaChance trying to set up a screen. The glove saved by Castro. To the goalie's left. Serbone takes the draw. And Youngstown wins the faceoff once more. Strothman controls. His way to the corner. Strothman gets it back from Whitelaw. Works his way. Stick handles in the slot. Whitelaw shot blocked. Didn't get to Castro. Cleared out by the force. Back to neutralize. Strothman retrieves it. 40 seconds to go of the 5-on-3. No score. Opening minute of play here in the third. Pass. Patilla. Top of left circle. Sends it back for Strothman. Now Whitelaw top of the right circle. Will switch spots with Strothman. High slot, one-timer. Patilla kicked aside. Nicely done. Anton Castro able to the task. Whitelaw. Now back for Strothman once more. Right circle. 15 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Whitelaw in. Throws it into the crease and batted aside by the Force. Cleared. And able to keep it in for the Phantoms. Patilla. Left circle, Whitelaw. As will be 5-on-4 shortly. Shot, save, traffic in front, comes loose. Whitelaw controls, shot, and scores. Fargo couldn't clear away the rebound. Came back to William Whitelaw. Into the forehand and scores. A power play goal. They got it. They had killed off the first penalty, but not the second. And the Phantoms lead 1-0. LeChance kept it alive, and then Whitelaw stick handling and scoring. A power play goal. That is their 5th of the postseason. All kinds of traffic in front on Castro. And Youngstown makes it hurt at 1:36 of the third period. The Phantoms have the lead. Whitelaw picks up his 4th goal of the postseason. Shields Arena got real quiet real quick. We'll get the rest of the scoring here momentarily. Battleford, far side half wall. Bozer after it. But again, they get the lead now, and now they get the lead. They haven't given it away too many times here in the postseason. Across the line comes Mangini for Russell. Russell a drive. Save made by Fowler. Puck was loose and finally cleared away by Youngstown. Was loose in the slot as he's the guy comes across the line with it. Stick handle. Shot. High slot. Missed the net. Near side Russell. Now Scott tied up. Puck ricochets back to the corner. 17:48 to go in the third period, and a 1-0 Youngstown advantage. Charlie Russell for Fargo. Russell has Anthony Mangini with him at center. And that one is flipped in to the corner and comes back behind the cage, controlled by the Phantoms. Youngstown back the other way with it as along the near side wall. Fargo will control. Now Knubel. Knubel back behind the net. Pass intercepted. Sharp angle shot at the side of the goal that time. Polonachuk looks to control. Now comes back out for Link. Link tries to clear the zone. Kept in. Shot was blocked. Jack Wilson tried to throw it on net. Never got to Castro. Here's a shot. That one's in for a goal. Like Miles Gunty may have went top shelf that time and scores to make it a 2-0 game. And it was Gunty. From the right circle skating in, looked like he went up top to beat Castro. And the Phantoms have a 2-goal lead. This one at 2:52 of the third. Actually, it was a little lower in the face-off circle that time. But Miles Gunty gives the Phantoms a 2-0 advantage. Get the scoring for you on the first goal. Let's get to that here first. It was Whitelaw from LeChance. Shane LeChance gets his 3rd assist, and on Serbone picking up his 4th assist of the postseason. 2:52 on the second goal. Just like that, the Phantoms, a power play goal and an even strength goal. Now have a 2-0 advantage. Stender for Mellenbacher, reaching for it as Vietnan finds Mellenbacher. Mellenbacher comes across the line, comes wide down the left wing boards, trying to put the brakes on and fell down to the process. Vietnan gets tied up. Puck taken away by the Phantoms in LeChance. Pass connects. Here comes Iziak. Iziak deflected. Bouncing puck gathered in by Silkals. Turns and heads back the other way. Full head of steam for the Force. Silkals tried to shoot it back in. Didn't get all of it. He gets knocked out of the process. Wilson, poke checked away from neutral ice. LeChance back to play it now for Youngstown. The scoring of the second goal here is, we'll get to that here in just a moment. 2-0 lead now for the Phantoms. Nearly 4 minutes into this third period. Game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup Finals. Scott and Bozer tie things up. Comes out in front of Castro, where it's taken by Wallows for Boris Skalos. Skalos, cross ice, connects with Sam Platt. Now Bozer after it. He's in deep in the corner. Has it taken away by Patilla. Rolling puck near side as gathered in by Strothman. Strothman across the line. Pass connects as a shot kicked aside. Castro denying Jake Rossi. With a pass got through traffic and connected by Strothman. Good vision. Well, he passes that puck well. Over 30 assists in the regular season. Here's Skalos. Skalos trying to put the brakes on. Now comes across the line. Fargo will start up on a line change. Trying to sustain things in the offensive zone. Here's Knubel. Knubel back behind the net with it for the Force. Here's his way to the far corner. Here's Knubel. Stick handles. Reverses field. Gets tied up with Jake Rossi. Comes back to the high slot. Here comes Gruba. Cross-ice pass got deflected and comes all the way back through neutral ice. A fluttering puck chased down by Joe Palatichuk. 15 to go here in the third period. Catalano and Tomasz Machu assisting on that second goal. Well, the penalty coming. It looks to be against the Phantoms. It'll be a high sticking call, and Fargo will get a power play. Their first power play of the night. High sticking call comes against the Phantoms. It'll be at 4:51 of the third period. And who is headed in? It looks to be Justin Varner will go in. There you look at Varner into the bin. High sticking the call at 4:51, and Fargo gets a power play, their first of the evening. Gunty, his first goal of the postseason from Catalano. Tyler Catalano gets his first assist of the playoffs, and Machu picks up his second. That came at 2:52. Now Fargo on the power play, down 2-0. Imperative they get one here to have it. As Palatichuk tried to throw it on goal, got deflected up and out of play. High sticking the call on Varner, so 3 high sticking calls in a row. One at the end of the second on Silkholms, and Link. That was the one they got the power play goal on to the Phantoms. Fargo killed off the first part of the 5-on-3, but not the second. 1:55 to go on the man advantage. 2-0 Youngstown. 15:04 to go in the third. Knubel out there with Miettinen, Mellenbacher, Swanson, and Palatichuk. Comes back to the blue line for Palatichuk. And they come back down the wall. Palatichuk down low. Miettinen. Now for Knubel. Wanders his way back towards the blue line. Mellenbacher throwing it in front. Looking for a tip was Palatichuk. Might have got a piece of it. Wide miss the net. Joe Palatichuk near corner for Fargo. Comes back up the wall. Now works his way back towards the slot. Through the slot left circle. Now reverses field. Now Knubel. Knubel top of the left circle with it for Swanson. Swanson pass for Miettinen. Thrown in front. Traffic in front. Knubel tried to stuff it home and covered up by goaltender Jacob Fowler. And a stoppage with 14:27 left. 1:18 to go. And Fargo, good sustained ice time. Don't believe Youngstown has gotten a clear yet. Fargo is 6 of 19 in the postseason on the power play, including 3 power play goals in the game 4 against Lincoln on Monday that clinched the Western Conference title. Faceoff will be to the right of Fowler. With 5 shutouts in the regular season. 14:27 to play in the third. Phantoms with a 2-0 lead here over the Force at Shields Arena. Game 1 of the Clark Cup final, controlled by the Phantoms. Cleared, kept in off the skate of Palatichuk, but and battled out to neutralized by the Phantoms. There they get a clear. Knubel is tied up, but there to help out his teammate, his defenseman Joe Palatichuk. Palatichuk got a caught between his skates, battled out to neutral ice. Palatichuk will play collegiately at Wisconsin. Here's Swanson. Battled away by the Phantoms, loose. So he comes near side. Youngstown does not have a shorthanded goal here in the postseason. Fargo looks to try and set things up, but can't. Controlled by Machu. And sent all the way down the length of the ice as Miettinen is under a minute to go on the power play. 40 seconds to go on the man advantage. 13:45 left. And if Fargo doesn't convert here, you've got a 2-0 lead. And with Fowler and the way that they play, a 2-0 lead is going to seem like 3 or 4. At center, Russell comes across the line. Down the right wing boards. Russell off the officials. He looked to ring it around, hit the official, kind of came to a halt. Russell out of the near corner with it, back out for Gruba. Gruba, stick handles. Now top of the right circle, Charlie Russell, a screen shot. Setting up the screen with Silkholms, but Fowler still made the save regardless. Comes back to the red line. Link looks to carry it in just across the blue line. Has to not connect. Patilla back to neutral ice it goes, and back to even strength. Youngstown kills off the penalty. 13:05 left, 2-0 Phantoms. Pass to not connect with Silkholms, intercepted by Strothman. Now the chance, cross ice. They come across the line with it. Serbone. Serbone to the corner. Loose. To the left of Castro in net. Serbone battles for the puck. Zamplant comes away with it for the Force for Link. Flipped high to the air by Link. Bouncing puck. Trying to find it. Mangini. Mangini shoots it in. Didn't get all the way through, but into the offensive zone. Cut off by Centrella. Youngstown changing things up as they did complete the line change. LaChance is out there. Puck to the near corner. Taken out by J.P. Turner for the Force. 12.5 minutes to play. Force trail 2-0 here in game one. Turner comes across the line. No, offside. I think Bentz got in ahead of the puck. And we have immediate timeout. Our first stoppage of the third period. 12:26 to go, but Youngstown getting goals from Whitelaw. Power play goal from Whitelaw. Even strength goal first of the postseason from Miles Gunty. Phantoms 2, Force 0. 12:26 to go in the third. Game one of the Clark Cup playoffs continues in 1 minute.
As summer arrives, the human emerges from his long winter nap. And the first thing he stumbles upon is this absolutely filthy car. This turns the human upset until he realizes he can download the Tommy Express Car Wash app. Download the Tommy's Express Car Wash app and sign up for your first free month of unlimited washing. Experience the Tommy Advantage today at the locally owned Tommy's Express Car Wash with 4 FM locations. Limited to new members and the first vehicle when signing up for reoccurring subscription.
It's not too late to plan your 2023 graduation party. 4 Points by Sheridan in Fargo and Doubletree by Hilton in West Fargo are ready to help with your big celebration. They have the perfect accommodations for graduation parties and are taking reservations right now. To book your 2023 graduation party, give their party planner Lance a call at 701-551-0125. Make your graduation party one to remember by planning it with 4 Points by Sheridan in Fargo and Doubletree by Hilton in West Fargo.
Well, the previous two Clark Cup final appearances for Fargo, they won game one. That is in danger right now with 12:26 to play in the third. Visiting Youngstown Phantoms lead 2-0. They want a face-off here. Pass intercepted. Taken by Mangini as Bentz with it. Pass for Bentz. Didn't get to him, but ends up on goal on Fowler, and he's able to freeze things. Meantime, Turner pushing and shoving in front of the net. Mangini trying to find Bentz and nearly connected there as the pass for Bentz is trying to get a stick on it. And might have got a piece of it. Overhead view will give us probably the best look on that. Yeah, he did just get just enough of the stick on it. Fluttering puck that Fowler was able to smother. With 12:18 to go in the third period. Scoring again, the power play goal, Whitelaw at 1:36 from LaChance and Serbone. Giving Youngstown the lead, and they add to it a minute, 16 seconds later. Miles Gunty at 2:52 from Catalano. And Tomasz Machu. Machu picking up his second assist and his second point of the playoffs. 2-0 Youngstown. They had one overtime game in their first playoff series against Cedar Rapids. It was the first game, I believe, they won in double overtime. They shot Harper Bentz just beyond the right circle, throwing it on net. And that's one thing that's been noticeable here with Jacob Fowler. He has not left a lot of rebounds out there. Usually able to stop at the first shot more times than not. And has not left a lot of rebounds out of the table. And if there has been, he's gotten help. Or Fargo's not been able. There was a play in the second period. The top line was out there for the Force with Knuble at the first shot. And then Lincoln Swanson got to the rebound, but it was too late. We're able to respond and break away and break up a pass on a second scoring attempt, potential scoring attempt. Fargo trying to win the faceoff here. It's controlled by Strothman. Patilla sends it back up the wall. Fargo, the forecheck, gets the puck back. Comes back to Palatichuk. Palatichuk throws it hard up the end boards, late for a carom. Swanson got a stick on it. Now Knuble, far corner. Turns on his heel, looking reverse field, trying to find a lane. Pass is intercepted, taken by LaChance for Youngstown. Phantoms, they come across the line with it with a 2-goal lead. Poke check by Palatichuk, but Shane LaChance gets it back. LaChance, 54 points in the regular season. LaChance gets tied up by Palatichuk. Knuble looks to control. It's loose, goal line extended. Battled away by the Force. It comes back out. Leo Gruba for Link. Battled away, loose puck. The near side, back at neutral ice is Link. Takes a hit of the process. And Machu back there, so is Patilla. 11:23 left, and Youngstown trying to keep it out of the middle of the ice with a 2-0 lead. Trying to win those puck battles in the corner. Wallace now for Kevin Scott. Scott drops it off the half wall. Scalos, full head of steam. Cross ice connects with Plant. Plant in, has it poke checked away. Sam Plant, 2 assists, does not have a postseason goal so far. It comes back to the point for Bozer. Bozer sticks handles. Left circle, shot wide, missed the net. Fowler took a peek at that one as it sailed by. Wallace is checked. Back of the corner, Boris Skalos over near side for Fargo. Scott tried to handle the puck, settle it down back towards the blue line, battled out to neutral ice. Kevin Scott reaching for it right in front of his team's bench. Now, D-to-D pass for Bozer. Bozer will flip it in. 10:38 to go in the third. Shots on goal 22-20 in favor of the Force. The Phantoms have a 2-0 lead here in game one. Braden Clark down the left wing boards. Dumps that one in. Castro behind the net. Drops it off for Bozer. Over to the far corner it goes. Loose, and that one knocked away and finally controlled by Fargo with Mellenbacher. Has Mietnin with him. Mellenbacher trying to get around a pair of skaters and taking off the puck that time. Matthew Perkins comes away with it. Silcon spins, fires a shot. Mellenbacher, sharp angle shot. Maybe went through the crease and wide. Mellenbacher battles for it. That set up well with Silcons and Mellenbacher. Stender will get to it on the far corner for the Force. Brings it around back to the near side. Will come back to Mellenbacher. Back to the point for Napier. Napier's shot, block, bouncing puck, loose in front. Silcon sliding in front of the goaltender Fowler. And controlled by Youngstown. They get a clear and relieve a little pressure. Fluttering puck will not go all the way down. Icing waved off. Stretch past Napier. Silcons trying to drop it off for Mellenbacher. Puts the brakes on. As he is checked. Taken off the puck. 9.5 to play. Loose at neutral ice. 3-on-3. Across the line with it, Jake Rossi. Loose puck will slowly roll to the edge of the crease where it is scooped up by Anton Castro. And we will have a stoppage with 9:28 to go in the third period. Fargo, Silcons, and Mellenbacher with a couple of shots and scoring attempts. Again, nothing past Fowler to this point. 9:28 to go in the third. Getting late. Youngstown 2, Fargo nothing in game one of the USHL Clark Cup final. More coming up in 1 minute.
Are you looking for some fun activities for kids this summer? The Enrichment Center at the North Dakota Autism Center hosts free activities every day for people of all abilities. Join us for arts and crafts, games, cooking classes, and so much more. You can make new friends, practice skills, and just have fun in a safe, inclusive environment. We also have volunteer opportunities and other ways to get involved. To learn more, please visit ndautismcenter.org and click Enrichment Center, and I'll see you there.
North Dakota Autism Center. Awesome care from the heart.
SaveCoin is the #1 source for daily deals, coupons, and discounts. Check out this week's great deals. Get half off a packaged pair of tickets now at Bonanzaville, or pay just $10 for $20 worth of food and drink at O'Kelly's Bar and Grill. Find these amazing deals and more only at SaveCoin.com. Plus, be sure to subscribe to their emails, texts, and follow them on Facebook, and you'll automatically get registered for a chance to win weekly prizes. Buy now at SaveCoin.com. That's SaveCoin.com.
Looking back in the Chicago series, Youngstown scored first in game one, never let the lead go, never had the lead in game two, had the lead, never relinquished it in game three, and then, of course, had to rally late in game three to tie it, and eventually won in overtime. 2-0 lead here, 9:25 to play in the third. There's a shot through traffic from the top of the right circle, and a save made by Anton Castro. So Castro, 19 saves, Fowler 24 saves, as Jake Rossi is a pretty active night. We've seemed to call his name quite a bit tonight as he had a scoring chance in the first period. How is that Coors Light Tower going? They're about 4 rows up. You're running out of time, boys. This has been a quick moving game. It's a little after 7:10 as we got a spot of the ice that they want to throw a little ice down and take care of. It's kind of beyond the high slot area. They're going to smooth that down. That's one thing now. Of course, we had such a long winter and lacking of a spring, and then all of a sudden spring came in a hurry here in Fargo-Moorhead. So sometimes there's been some questions and at times complaints on the ice. Maybe gets a little bit soft this time of year, but whatever issue there was on that end of the ice, which would be in the Youngstown offensive zone, they patched that up and all appears to be well again. 9:23 remaining. We were scoreless through two if you just joined us. They started on the power play to start the third in Youngstown, turned into a 5-on-3. Fargo killed off the first penalty, but not the second. William Whitelaw with the goal. Whitelaw's fourth of the postseason. That came at 1:36 of the third to give Youngstown a 1-0 lead, and Minute 16 later, Miles Gunty added to it. 2-0 lead. The Phantoms win the faceoff. Strothman out of the corner with it. Loose puck as that'll comes back to the point. Strothman stick handles. Fires into the corner. Loose and sprawling after it was Isagai. Back out to neutral ice. Patella tries to send it along as he finds Serbone. Turnover and coming across the line for Fargo's Tanner Wallows. Tried to center, but the pass batted away. Taken back by Jake Rossi. Youngstown has numbers. It's 4-on-2 if they hustle. Pass Strothman gathers it in right circle. Try to drop it off for Sabone. Batted away. Pope checked away. Nice job. And able to deny was Brazen Bozer helping out his goaltender. Youngstown will get to a change. They'll dump the puck in. Comes to the near side for Swanson. 8:35 left. Force trail 2-0 here in game one. Near side for Fargo. Bozer for Knubel. Knubel comes across the line. That one backhanded in by Max Swanson. To the near corner. Machu. Fargo offensive. They try to center for Swanson. The feed from Bozer from the corner. Pass was on target, but unable to get his stick down in time with Swanson. Batted in, and coming out of the cage to his right is Anton Castro. And he'll freeze the puck with 8:10 to go in the third. Tried to center that time on a feed from the corner from Brazen Bozer, and it didn't look like Swanson got his stick down in time. 8:10 to go in the third. Still 2-0 Youngstown. Now Fowler, the goalie of the year in the USHL this year, and you can see why. As he was a first-team All-USHL selection, Matej Marinoff sitting tonight for Fargo's second team. And then Cam Whitehead, who we saw some pretty solid performances against Fargo this year, was a third-team pick. 8:10 left. Miziak on the draw for Youngstown. That line of LaChance, Whitelaw, and Miziak out there. Fargo controls off the draw. Napier for Stender, trying to chase it down to the far corner as Fargo looks to break out with Swanson. Top line out there. Swanson got knocked down at center. Fargo fans looking for a penalty and will not get it as Napier sends down Youngstown skater. That was LaChance between the benches. A little tit for tat there. Back comes Knubel. Knubel across the line. Knubel had a poke check away. They look to control with Swanson. Knubel gets it back behind the net from Max Swanson. Forced over to the corner, escorted to the corner. Drops it off Napier. High slotted drive wide. Fowler looked like he might have got a piece of that. Knubel. And back out to neutralize. Bozer through the logo at center. Comes in wide down the left wing boards. Past one skater. Loses the puck. Gathers it in. Now in the corner. Bozer brings it back around as Swanson for Scott. 7:25 left. Fired hard up the boards as goal line extended. Now to the corner. J.P. Turner tied up. Can't get free from Machu. Back to neutral ice. Kevin Scott backhands it for Swanson. Cross ice. Now for Link. Link gains the line. Brett Link out of the corner as Fargo will change up defenseman. Palatichuk, fresh shift out there. Taken back by Youngstown. 2-on-3. Braden Clark flips it in. Gruba back in the corner with it. Inside is 7 minutes left. 6:50 and counting. 2-0 Youngstown. Pence pass through center. Plant carries it in with his back to the goaltenders. He carried it in. Taken off the play. Right off the half wall. Well done again by Youngstown. Grinding away on this one. They'll dump it in. Line change coming here. They'll start up on the line change for the Phantoms. Aaron pass and a giveaway. As Castro gets back in cage, net will come off the moorings. With 6:29 to go in the third. Aaron pass led to a turnover and a brief moment of on the Fargo side, but Castro able to quickly recover. Net came off the Pigs, which certainly benefited them as well. 6:29 to go in the third. Still 2-0 Phantoms. Shots on goal here in the third period. Fargo with 7. 25 the total now. Youngstown, 2 goals on 7 shots, but they got those 2 goals very early on. Two shots in their first, 3 or 2 goals in the first 3 shots to grab the lead here in the third. And they seem like they don't want to let it go. Over the half wall, Plant is tied up over there with Bischoff. Comes free, puck through center, fluttering puck will not get all the way down. Icing waved off as Nick Williams will oversee the situation patiently and drops it near side. Back to neutral ice as Bischoff tied up. Loose. Mellenbacher in front of the Fargo bench. Tied up with Catalano. Fargo Back to get it with Stender. Jacobs, Stender, and Napier on defense now for the Force. Mellenbacher in down the right wing boards. We're inside of 6 minutes to go in the third. Still 2-0 Youngstown. Napier puts the brakes on, trying to backhand it in off the body of Serbone. And Strothman at center. Boy, he logs a lot of minutes defensively. Trying to find Isagai. Strothman, cross ice, finding Jake Rozzi. Rozzi tied up. He's a commit to Ohio State. The Ohio State. Serbone tied up with Napier. Over in the far corner. Comes back up the wall where it's taken by Mellenbacher. Pass out of the stick. Gathered in by Gert Silkons. Silkons came over from Des Moines earlier in the season. Silkons in the corner. Taken off the puck. And Youngstown with Strothman. Up ice it goes for Isagai. Now it's center. Across the line with it comes Patilla. Patilla dumps it in down the right wing boards. 5:02 remaining in the third. Youngstown 2, Fargo nothing here in game 1 of the USHL Clark Cup playoffs. Cross ice. Pass not allowed out. Intercepted. Iziak. Centering feed. LaChance trying to get around Knubel. Behind the net. Tries to stuff it home. Wrap-around attempt. Kicked aside and is batted in on the second opportunity, and they score with LaChance. First attempt, Castro got a piece of it, but couldn't prevent a rebound, and LaChance just kept jamming away and scored. Shane LaChance gets his third of the postseason, and it's 3-0 Youngstown. We take a look at it. Dropped it in front and just kept jamming it away and able to kind of squirt it inside the goal pipe in maybe just underneath Castro. He's jamming away in the first attempt, just kind of kept jamming away at it, got it back, and out the back of Castro and in. Here's the goaltender on a bank shot there with 4:45 remaining. So at 15-15 of the third, Shane LaChance, persistence paying off there, and it's 3-0. And slowly but surely, a few folks scurrying for the exits here at Shields Arena. Someone said, "Yeah, tonight may not be our night." Got the rest of the scoring here in just a moment. See if we got some assists attached to that as well. Back comes Fargo with Betts. Betts in the corner. It's it back out for Gruba. Gruba handles it at the blue line. Back for Harper Betts. Betts shot save made by Fowler. Loose in front, loose in the crease. Fowler comes up with it. There's all kinds of traffic in front. The officials will get everybody separated and do their best to take care of that. Shot, save made. Looked like it crawled up the body. We're going to look at it here on the replay as Betts from the top of the right circle off his shoulder, and then Skalos tried to bat it in midair. Turner jabbed at it, but Skalos had the best chance. You see, he tried to bat it in midair. LaChance and looks to be unassisted on that goal. And he was able to bank in off the back of Castro. It's the crowd tonight here at Shields Arena, 4,119. The home fans with the whiteout have not had a whole lot to cheer about. 41-19 tonight. A few of them scurrying for the exits now. 3-0 Youngstown with 4:28 to play here in regulation time. Mellenbacher on the draw against Iziak. Fargo controls off the draw. Mellenbacher, but it taken away. An empty net as they fire into the empty net and score. They did pull on that previous stoppage. They did pull Castro, and they bang went into the empty net. And Whitelaw came away with that loose puck, and an empty net goal makes it a 4-0 Youngstown lead. Castro heads back in net. They figure down 3-0, and at that point, you have nothing to lose, and Whitelaw made it hurt. It's second of the night at 15:41 of the third, as a few more will turn and head for the exits here at Shields Arena. Well, the way this one turns out, it's really going to be if it stays at 4-0, final score is not going to be indicative of how it turned out, but Youngstown took advantage of a power play, and once they got the lead, as good as Fowler is, sometimes 1-0 or 2-0 seems like a lot more. Here comes Wallace. Wallace has Skalos with him, comes across the line, will roll that one deep into the offensive zone. It comes back behind the net, inside of 4 minutes to play. Fargo had some pressure in the second. That puck went about 2/3 of the way up and into section 110. And only fans he's probably 10 rows up. Got that puck and got that one, and no worse for wear. He's going to see if he stuck around. He got himself a souvenir. That's why you stay till the end, right? 3:55 to play in the third. Shots on goal 28-24 in favor of Fargo. So Youngstown, 8 shots here in the third period, 4 goals. Of course, one was into an empty net. The last 2 goals unassisted. The Whitelaw empty net goal is an unassisted tally with 3:55 to play off the faceoff. Turner over in the corner with it, and we've got a penalty coming as Turner got hit. Went over to the corner, and it's going to be a power play coming here for the Force. Penalty against Youngstown at 16:10 of the period, and it's going to be a high sticking call. Apparently that's the penalty of the night. That's the penalty of choice. That's now 4 high sticking calls, and it'll be just to show the officials aren't playing favorites. 2 each team. And the guilty party, Justin Varner. Well, Varner took another one in a high sticking call. They certainly are playing favorites. 16-10 on a high sticking call on Varner. So Fargo 0 of 1 of the man advantage, and you need one to get it going. Lions will start now. Knubel, Mietnin, Mellenbacher, Swanson, and Palatichuk out there, the power play for Fargo. And Youngstown clears it and all the way down. Castro forced to make a play on it, goes to his right, and will drop it off for Palatichuk. 3:40 remaining. Fargo 0 of 1 of the man advantage. Here comes Knubel. Knubel through traffic, comes across the line, and it poke checked away. Back out for Palatichuk. Swanson, as he pass, unable to connect, and cleared out by the Phantoms and all the way down. Cleared out by Nick Williams. 3:22 remaining, 90 seconds to go. The man advantage, 4-0 Youngstown. 4 goals, power play goal, an empty netter. Whitelaw with a pair, Gunty and Lachansky. As stick around after a play-by-play, we'll have the 3 stars of the game. Here's Palatichuk, sharp angle shot at the side of the goal. Goes back behind the net, cleared out and all the way down. I don't think that's going to be considered a shot on goal. They have not added it to the counter, so Fargo still without a shot on goal on this power play. As we're down to 1 minute to go on the man advantage, 2:50 left, and barring a comeback of epic proportions, Youngstown's going to take game 1 on the road here in the Clark Cup final, as they did in game 1 of the Eastern Conference final, winning at Chicago. Jammed over to the near corner, backhanded out of the reach of Russell and all the way down. Fargo will lose their second game of the postseason here at home. They'll drop now to 3-2 at home here in the postseason. Russell fires it in, and they have lost now 4 straight in the Clark Cup final here on home ice. 2 to Chicago 2 years ago, and then game 2 in 2018, an overtime loss to Youngstown 5 years ago. Charlie Russell comes across the line. 15 seconds to go in the power play. Russell over to the corner. One thing about that, they're physical, but they didn't take a lot of foolish penalties. So Youngstown, you can see a lot of discipline there. Silcones brings it around to the near side for Russell. Russell at the half wall near side, gets tied up. Handed away, and nicely done that time by Serbone. At center, through center comes Kenta Isuge. Native of Japan, will play collegiately at Ohio State. Back to 5-on-5 hockey, 1:37 to play here in the third period. 4-0 in favor of the Phantoms. Here's a turnover. Going to put the brakes on Mangini. Lost the puck in the process. Added free and controlled by Andrew Centrella. D-to-D pass through Williams. And Williams fires it to the blue line as they will change up on defense. Will the Phantoms. Cleared out by the Force. Rink wide. Wilson for Machu. Machu with a forehand. Slowly bats it in. 1:10 to play in the third. Here's J.P. Turner. Stretch pass. Never got to Mangini. Batted free, but Bentz carries it in. And to drop it off for Mangini. Shot and scooped up. Glove saved. Jacob Fowler on save number 29 of the night with 61 seconds to play. 4-0 Phantoms. So game 2 tomorrow night, and an hour earlier, 6:05 with a 5:50 pregame. And that'll be the one thing with the Force. Have to respond here in game 2. And that's really one thing that we've seen is with this bunch is they haven't had a lot of moments where they've kind of had their backs against the wall. Certainly did not in the postseason, but did respond well after losing game 2. Frustrating loss to Lincoln and got it down on the road. It's the other thing, if Youngstown gets, well, they're going to get at least one. There's a goal as Mangini on a loose puck in the slot. Went to the wrister and scored. 58.4 seconds left, and Fargo gets on the board. It's 4-1 Phantoms. If it's Anthony Mangini, it's his first of the playoffs, and it is for Mangini. Right off the draw. Anthony Mangini gets the force on the board as this one at 19:02 of the third period. First postseason goal for the Baxter, Minnesota product. And it's a 4-1 game here in the final minute. 58.4 seconds left. Patilla off the draw. Backhanded back in by J.P. Turner for the force. Mangini hustling after it. Patilla over the corner. Down to 47 seconds left. Cleared, but kept in for a moment by Marion Moscow. Here come the Phantoms. Stick handling and a shot top of the right circle. That went wide on the wrister from Hunter Bischoff. 35 seconds to play. Mangini trying to get to that puck. He does along the inboards. Gets tripped up, and I think they're going to send Mangini in and maybe both in perhaps. 30.4 seconds left. As Chase Patilla, a few words from Mangini, and I think the officials are going to send them both in. With 19:30 left as we'll get the calls. We take a look on that. As Mangini went down, the officials immediately signaled on for both. So Patilla, and I wonder if it's Mangini, if it might be embellishment perhaps, but we'll get the call here momentarily. We'll get you the Fargo goal. It is Mangini from J.P. Turner. He took that face-off. That was at 19:02 to get the force on the board. 30.4 seconds left. It'll be 4-on-4 here for the rest of the way. The final half minute of this one. Wallace on the draw for the force, and the Phantoms win the face-off. Nick Williams behind the net. Swoboda, cross ice, has handled things in their defensive zone. Nick Williams takes a peek at the clock, high above Shields Arena. 16 seconds left. That puck goes up and deflected and out of play. Puck out of play with 15.3 seconds remaining. Youngstown leads at 4-1. It was Patilla, 2 minutes on a trip, and it was diving and embellishment there for Mangini. That was just kind of a hunch, but that's the way it turned out. Both at 19:30. Patilla on a trip, and then Mangini for embellishment, diving and embellishment at 19:30, and they will watch the final seconds from the bin on this one. 10 seconds remaining. Well, Youngstown, they know they've got a rock in net, and we talked about earlier as this game went later and later without a goal, you kind of figured if Youngstown gets the first one, and they did, as the time runs out of this one. And the Phantoms make the long trip, over 1,000 miles worth, and come away with a Game 1 win. They will know for sure that they get at least a split, and they'll head back home to the Cavelli Center where they have the best home record in the United States Hockey League. And they pick up Game 1 victory here with a 4-1 final for a crowd of just over 4,100 here at Shields Arena. Shots on goal in the third period, 12 for Fargo, and a 30-save shutout for Jacob Fowler. His first shutout of the postseason, his 6th of the year. Anton Castro, 10 shots on goal, a final total of 24. Ends up being 21 saves for Anton Castro, as they did pick up the empty netter late as well. As the Phantoms with a 4-1 win here at Shields Arena. Is Game 2 coming up tomorrow night. That'll be a 6:05 Central Time face-off. Pregame will be at 5:50, as we'll get the 3 stars of the game coming up here in just a matter of moments. We'll get to those before we send it to our post-game report. I think you got a pretty good idea who that top star is going to be as the crowd files out here of Shields Arena. And those final penalties, Chase Patilla, 2 minutes for tripping at 19:30, and then the diving embellishment call on Anthony Mangini of the Force, both at 19:30, as Fargo tonight, 4 penalties, 8 minutes, and likewise 4 penalties, 8 minutes as well for the Youngstown Phantoms. We'll get to our 3 stars of the game here next, as Youngstown takes the Game 1 victory. Anthony Mangini, the number 3 star of the evening. Second star is William Whitelaw, who had the game-winning goal, the first goal of the 4 goals in the third period, and the first and final goals. William Whitelaw, a pair of goals, the number 2 star. And Jacob Fowler, 30 saves tonight, his first postseason shutout. I guess not a shutout, correction on that. As a 4-1 finals, he did give up the goal late, so actually 29 saves. But Fowler, his goals against average under 2, and it's going to drop a little bit more as he ends up with 29 saves. And you look back at his numbers in the postseason, he's usually high 20s at 27, 28, 29 saves, 29 tonight, and had a shutout until the final minute. And a 4-1 victory over the Fargo Force in Game 1 of the Clark Cup Championship. Stay tuned, we'll have our post-game report. We'll put the wraps on this one, final summary, and set the stage for tomorrow night in Game 2 in 2 minutes.
It's Outback Days going on now at Muscatel's Subaru. While supplies last, Muscatel's has new Outback models available now. No waiting. All with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive for safety and security 4 seasons of the year. Ask about Muscatel's complimentary accessory credit with new Outback purchase. Muscatel's Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha. I was always on my feet. It was just so painful. Elisa couldn't let her students down. So she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports. I would work an entire day and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different. But the really good part, it's good to be dancing together again. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lise Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Stop by the Good Feet store on 13th Avenue near TJ Maxx Plaza for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeetdakotas.com.
Looking for the perfect escape? The beautifully restored Gnome Schoolhouse offers guest-inspiring spaces to immerse themselves in the kind of peace and tranquility that is unique to rural North Dakota. It's nestled on the edge of the small community of Nome. Experience the beautiful outdoors while enjoying all the indoor comforts of the tastefully appointed Fiber Arts Boutique Hotel and Event Center. To book your escape, visit gnomeschoolhouse.com.
Shot, save, traffic in front, comes loose. Whitelaw controls, shot, and score. Fargo couldn't clear away the rebound. Came back to William Whitelaw. The forehand and scores. A power play goal. They got it. They had killed off the first penalty, but not the second. And the Phantoms lead 1-0. Gave them the lead in a 4-1 victory tonight. Youngstown 4, Fargo 1, Game 1 of the Clark Cup Championship. Game 2 tomorrow night here at Shields Arena, an hour earlier. 6:05 Central Time, 5:50 will be the pregame. At 101.9 Jack FM, Flow Hockey, also on the Western Reserve Radio Network as well for you folks back in Youngstown. Final numbers on this one, tidying things up as we get to the scoring in the third period after a scoreless 40 minutes. William Whitelaw power play goal. Whitelaw from Shane LaChance and on Serbone. 136, a power play goal in the third period, giving the Phantoms a 1-0 lead. And then followed just over a minute later, 2:52 of the third. Miles Gunty is first to the playoffs. Tyler Catalano and also Tomish Machu. Machu's second assist of the postseason. That made it 2-0. And Shane LaChance on a wraparound attempt. First attempt denied by Castro, but just kept working and trying to jam it away, and he eventually hit it off the back of goaltender Castro and into the back of the net. His third goal of the postseason, unassisted at 15:15, made it a 3-0 game. And less than 30 seconds later, as Castro was pulled, William Whitelaw into the empty net. 15:41, unassisted to make it 4-0. And then Fargo winning a face-off late, winning an offensive zone face-off, and Anthony Mangini from the slot getting his first goal of the postseason Mangini from J.P. Turner. First assist for J.P. Turner in his first point of the playoffs. With just under a minute to play, got Fargo on the board, prevented a Fowler shutout, a 4-1 victory. 29 saves for Jacob Fowler as he stopped 11 of 12 shots in the third period. 30-24, Fargo at the edge in shots on goal. 12-10 in the third period. Anton Castro, 23 saves in net, and we'll see who Nick Oliver will go with tomorrow. Does he stay with Castro? Does he go back to Matej Marinov? We'll see at this point. I think Castro, all in all, the performance was good, quality, not good enough, but it really was pretty solid until the third. But we'll see if they stay with Castro or if they go back to Marinov. That'll be the question that the Force coaching staff and, of course, the Force fan base will chew on going into Game 2 tomorrow. Penalties in the third period. They started on the man advantage for a little over a minute and a half, did the Phantoms. Brett Link, 2 minutes for high sticking at 26 seconds, led to a 5-on-3. Fargo killed off penalty number 1 of the 5-on-3, but gave up the power play goal later on in that man advantage. Justin Varner, twice for high sticking, once at 4:51, then again at 16:10 for Youngstown. Then the penalties in the final minute. Chase Patilla, 2 minutes for tripping at 19:30, and then Anthony Mangini also went in as well, 2 minutes for diving and embellishment. So Fargo, 4 penalties, 8 minutes. Likewise for the Phantoms, 4 penalties and 8 minutes this evening. Youngstown 1 of 2 on the power play. Fargo was 0 of 2. We'll take a timeout. We'll wrap things up. Youngstown 4, Fargo 1. Phantoms take Game 1 of the Clark Cup Championship here at Shields Arena. We'll wrap it up in 2 minutes.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Add a pop of color to your home's exterior with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Exterior Flat Paint. It's a premium paint and primer in one that provides maximum coverage for long-lasting color and withstands repeated cleaning, scrubbings, and burnishing. Transform your home today with a gallon of Grand Distinction Flat Exterior Paint for $42.69 after 11% rebate. Good through May 14th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Here is this week's Employment Connection, brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. Call now at 701-297-8800 or stop in their office for your interview. Call 701-297-8800. Job seekers, call Express Employment Professionals now at 701-297-8800 or stop by their office. They have immediate openings for high-paying and awesome jobs. Call 701-297-8800. Camp Grassick is hiring camp counselors, recreation staff, craft instructors, and a lifeguard. Starting salary is $4,300 plus room and board. Applicants should be 16 or older. This is a great experience for people going into education, nursing, and therapies. This summer camp serves people of all ages and abilities. Applicants can apply online at elkscampgrassick.com. Rick Electric, voted best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley in 2022, is hiring journeyman electricians, apprentices, and service tech electricians for existing projects in the FM area. Go to rickelectric.com or info@rickelectric.com. Midland Garage Door is looking for motivated shipping associates and production associates, starting at $22 to $25 per hour. Various shifts are available. Apply today at midlandgaragedoor.com/careers. And there's your Employment Connection, brought to you by Express Employment Professionals.
Youngstown takes it, a 4-1 victory. They have lost just once in the postseason, now 6-1 of the postseason. That lone loss came at Chicago in Game 2, and Fargo don't have a lot of time to pout. That's Nick Oliver's talked about that over the course of the season. He says that's kind of the beauty of the postseason. You get time to bounce back, and they would tell you maybe not the best performance. Youngstown a big reason why, but you gotta bounce back, and Fargo has certainly done that more times than not, and they'll need to do so again, as Youngstown knows they have at least a split heading back to Ohio next weekend. And again, they have been pretty solid at home. They have not lost at home in the postseason, the best home record in the USHL. They know for sure at worst they'll be 1-1. Fargo looks to even the series tomorrow night. Game 2, 5:50 will be our pregame time, Central Time here on 101.9 Jack FM and Flow Hockey. Face-off will be a little after 6, probably around 6:10 or so And we know for sure that, we'll have Game 3 for sure next Friday in Youngstown and potentially Game 4 on Saturday, the 20th. My thanks to Josh Linus. Great job, as always, producing things at our studios. And thanks to you for coming along with us as well. Final score one more time. Game 1 of the Clark Cup Championship goes to the visiting Youngstown Phantoms. A 4-goal third period. And the final score, the Phantoms 4, the Fargo Force 1. From Shields Arena, we'll talk to you tomorrow night, 5:50 in the pregame. Pat London will join me. And 6:10 of the faceoff in Game 2 of the Clark Cup Championship. So long. You've been listening to coverage of the Fargo Force in the 2023 United States Hockey League Clark Cup playoffs. Follow the Force all postseason long as they strive for a Clark Cup championship. Tonight's game is a presentation of Midwest Radio of Fargo Moorhead Sports.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio. Light day around baseball on Thursday. The Reds shut out the Mets 5-0. Kevin Newman hit a 2-run single in Cincinnati's 4-run first. The Reds took 2 of 3 from New York. Mets ready Kodai Senga gave up 5 runs and 8 hits over 5 innings. The Reds hit to Miami to open up